All right, yo, what's up, everybody? Before we get started with the show here, I just want to apologize. We had some camera issues about an hour into the show. The GoPro that was recording died. I don't know why. That GoPro's worked for years for us. We weren't trying to do anything fancy, just a single shot. The battery pack was still going, so I don't honestly know what happened there. But yeah, it didn't work. So like the last hour and a half of the show, hour and 45 minutes, we just don't have any video, so you'll just see the sponsor logos on the screen and hear us talking, and I know it kind of sucks, and I know it's not the best look. We're gonna do what we can here, okay? We've never been a tech-savvy podcast, and we continue to just have technical issues like this. So anyway, outside of that, pretty banger episode. We broke down Arlington, so we'll jump into that. Episode 261. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the show.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
You bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode 261. We are going to wrap up the 2024 Arlington Supercross here. I am Travis, your host. I want to thank you all for tuning in here. With me at the table, my co-hosts, they're back. They decided not to leave me hanging this week. Justin and Cole. Hello, boys.
Bitches?
It's nice to see you in proper attire this time.
Yeah, I got to get some of the new shirts, man.
I'm waiting for a VRM shirt.
I think I have one of the retro shirts for you. I don't have anything for you right now.
VRM, me.
I just got one of those myself. Okay. So anyway, if you guys want any of the merch, there is a merch shelf down below that has some of that, including pick up your Degan Club shirt.
Or your vet rider mentality.
Or your VRM shirt if you're a vet rider like us.
Or if you're a young gun that wants to ride like a vet rider.
Yes. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We have a full pack show here. We have a lot to talk about. Wild night of racing there at Arlington, and a few other things to kind of touch on or whatever. Before we jump into that, just want to thank our sponsors, TLR Coatings, Complete Racing Solutions, 50 Grafx, Gutter Works, and Isaac Nelson Designs, and
Figured out a song on the fly.
Holster Co.
You got your opening ceremony?
Thank you for interrupting the sponsor read. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's not like we get paid or anything. Super cool. So anyway, okay. So
I was at Gutter Works today.
were you
Mm-hmm.
riding?
Did a little riding.
Yeah, I saw that they were going to do that. Shit. I have something that I need you to test for a new sponsor. So
Is it lubricant?
yes.
Okay.
I have some. It shouldn't take the whole bottle, so I'll have to get a thing out and squirt some in it for you.
Okay.
Because I want to test it too.
You want to test it together?
Yeah. Yes, that's what we should do. So,
Insert all the innuendos.
yeah. So anyway, the show being presented by 50 Grafx and Complete Racing Solutions, and we will get to them here a little bit more in a little bit. So, boys, how was your off week?
What'd you do?
What'd you do?
Which one? Are we talking about Super Bowl Sunday or this past weekend?
I don't give a fuck about Super Bowl Sunday.
Kind of the same.
The past weekend where there wasn't a race at all.
I worked and watched NASCAR.
What'd you do?
Dude, I don't even think I can remember that far back. What did I do?
Wow.
The
Unbelievable.
500 was on, right? But that was Monday.
500 was on Monday.
Monday.
It
yeah.
got postponed. Yeah, I guess I really didn't do anything. Just hung out around the house.
It's Michigan. It's
Yeah.
cold. Well,
Has been
spring
cold.
spring might be around the corner. So it
Yeah,
might be good.
hopefully.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. I don't think I did anything.
All right.
What'd you do?
I was
Other
in
than being in Florida.
I was in Florida.
Yeah. Or no, actually, I rode at Gutterworks.
Yeah.
I
Have
did.
they changed the track a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit in the back section. Woods Loop now.
Ooh.
Got a little Woods Loop going. We burnt that in a little more today.
A lot of people out there today? Looked like you had a pretty good crew last time you guys were out there.
We had a quick crew last time.
Yeah.
We had Sewell, Rigsby, Mike Heingartner.
Wow, I'm glad I didn't go.
Oh, I haven't seen that guy in forever.
Shirtless hole shot guy.
Holy
Oh,
crap.
boy.
Big boy.
I wanted to do a shirtless hole shot with him.
Does he
but
still got that 252 stroke?
No, he's Team Green.
Did you get him into that, or was he on Team Green beforehand?
I got him into Team
Nice.
Green.
That's cool.
Tool's Team Green still.
That's
But
cool.
no, we had a good time. Yeah, today was probably 10 of us maybe.
Nice.
So it was good. 10 minutes from the house, like good track.
I know. I got to get my bike out and get it ready so I can go ride. Should probably finish putting that graphics kit on that 50 Grafx provided me. So
Get on with it.
I wasn't expecting the weather to be this way this quickly.
Dude,
Okay, I
so-
thought I had a few more weeks.
All right, so terrible bike owner right now, but I've ridden twice in February. Third time now in February. It's so cold out the day after.
You don't wash it.
I haven't washed it.
I mean, I don't
today
blame you.
I changed my oil.
Pops would be proud. It's
dude. Yeah, big.
a good
T
thing you're
would-
buying your own bikes these days.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, I changed the oil with it dirty. Put an oil filter in it with it dirty.
I mean, look, man, that's better than some people I know. Some people go
dude.
I mean, we all for hours. I'm not going to name names, but there was this one guy I used to work for. We did arena cross together, and his dad wouldn't do an air filter for like 5 hours.
I check it every time.
And I'm like-
if it's dirty, I change it.
I looked at him and I go, I'm going to slap shit out of you.
Yeah, usually 2 rides on oil for your boy. Definitely.
I mean, I go a little bit longer than that just because, like, I kind of know how oils work, and I'm like,
Some of our race
Wait.
bikes, we would do it after a day, depending on like regionals and
well,
shit.
but that's like a race bike too. Like, I'm an old fat guy
Yeah.
who doesn't use over rev at all unless I'm about to die. So, like, I'm not fucking my oil up.
Our practice bikes, we push them out, but like race weekends, like regionals or like amateur nationals, where you're doing like 10 motos a day, we're like, dude, we're not even gonna. We're just gonna change it. It doesn't matter.
I'm curious now. I don't know much about oil, but anybody listening out there, please comment below and tell me when you change your oil.
What does your oil look like when you pull it out of the bike? Does it look like it's been used, or does it look like it just came brand new out of the
last
bottle?
time it did, but sometimes it looks pretty good. I don't. It just
Yeah.
depends.
I mean, I'm this, but so I was when I started with dirt bikes, I was very like every other ride, change your oil. Every time you ride, change your air filter. And now I'm more like if I'm riding here and it's not really like super dusty in the middle of summer when it's all baked in, it's just kind of like there. I'm like, the air filter's not fucking doing anything.
Right.
There's no dirt going through, or like I'm not somewhere that's sandy or whatever or muddy. It's like there's nothing's happening to
Well,
it.
dude, nowadays too, especially obviously the 4-strokes, like the oil galleys, the way the oil cycles through the motor, and like the oil screens and the oil pumps are so good nowadays. Like it's very rare that like you're gonna have bad oil after one or 2 rides. Like you can go along. There's a lot of people on the Yamahas that go quite a while.
it gives me anxiety.
Dude, I would never do it just because I've seen the back end of like, yeah, I'll be good, and then you get to another ride and you're like, I'll push it off.
How often do you change the oil in your car?
I try to do it
Once a year.
whenever the sticker says, but
So probably,
I
the new
mean-
trucks, but the new truck's probably a lot longer because you got
I'm
synthetic and all
gonna
that.
sound like an asshole here, but I just take it in and swipe the card whenever they need
I do
it done.
I do 3,000 miles. I'm old school. I know these like
Yeah.
my Lincoln now is like 6, but I'm not.
I was gonna say,
don't do
so the old
Well-
school was 3,000. The last probably 5 or so years ago, it was you can go 5,000. Now I've heard of oil that can go like 15, 20,000 miles between oil changes. Like the oil
yeah.
technology is
I'll have
continuing to
I'll have to
improve.
look on that thing since that's a fleet vehicle. I just whenever the sticker does, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go in.
Oils
I think
have
it's
gotten-
3,000 though. 3,000.
Oils have gotten so good nowadays, though.
Yeah, it's like you literally can once a year.
Yeah.
My
Well,
street
crazy.
bike, I used to do it once a year. I do it in the spring right before I got it out, and then I would not change it. And that thing all did was bounce off the rev limiter.
Dude,
so
I remember being this is the old school Hondas, so like he can attest to this. Like when
you had to change both fluids.
But I remember
Yes.
I remember back in, so this would have been maybe I was probably at MTF. Yeah, it had to have been because this is when Barsha first bumped up to the B class when he had first gotten the Geico or
and they had to change his oil mid moto.
His dad literally he'd be out there doing a 30-minute moto, and he would come back and his dad would change oil after every 30 minutes.
Really?
And I just remember looking at him and I go, God, I'm glad you love your son because I don't think anybody else would do it that much. And then they're in there just doing valves like every night. Like I
Yeah.
remember we would walk out and it'd be like 1 a.m. and they'd just be doing valves. They'd be pulling valves out of the head, putting new shit in. And this wasn't like the practice bike, so it was like the old school stock. Like, dude, this is like full on titanium. Like it's the PC valves and shit. And I'm like, dude, your life sucks right now.
I remember that with
Hard
my
on bikes,
07.
man.
Jesus.
Like having to check lash and
They were
valve
terrible.
lash and stuff like that. And I'm just like, how can we not build a bike that like it's a 4-stroke engine. Why can
Well,
it not go? Yeah.
Those old Hondas too. The big problem was it wasn't even necessarily like the valves.
Didn't start.
The valve that was the carburetor issue too. The valves weren't great because they like didn't come stock with titanium valves. But the biggest thing on those old Honda heads too was like the guides in the seats and shit. Like the fucking guides would start doing this after like 10, 15 hours.
Which is like, why can't we engineer that to work?
Well, I mean, now obviously for a long time we don't have that problem with Hondas anymore. But like, dude, that was the
we don't really have that problem with any bikes anymore.
That was the one thing I hated about like those mid 2000 Honda engines. First off, they were slow and just I hated having to do valves every 10 hours.
05,
They handled
06 was the same way. 07 got a lot better.
They handled great, but God, they were slow. They were so slow.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's jump into this then. Opening ceremonies because you're
Oh,
here.
yeah. You don't do it when I'm not here?
No,
Unbelievable.
I'm a terrible song person. I don't even have one tonight.
I do.
He
though.
thought of one on the fly.
I thought of one on the fly.
I had so many podcasts to catch up on because I was in Florida for a week, not listening to them. That's all I've been listening to all week.
And I think it's
Well.
fitting for who it's going to be.
Well, my guy's Eli Tomac.
God dang it. Can I pick him too?
You can pick him too.
Okay, all right.
But you can't pick the same B.O.B. song that I'm
Oh,
picking.
definitely. This is not a B.O.B. song. This is
All
an
right,
old
so
song.
this B.O.B. song is called Beast Mode because we saw it. Beast Mode's back.
All right. So
So he's coming out to B.O.B. Beast Mode.
mine's kind of on the same school of thought on that, but this is even old school. This is like mid 2000s. Mace, welcome back. Welcome back to Beast Mode.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go.
I'm not gonna sing that portion of it, but Mace
Oh
came out
no!
with
Please sing it for us.
No, he
Let's
came out
hear
with
it.
he
Come
came out
on.
with the song after he got out of prison.
Come on.
Welcome back. No, I'm not.
There we go.
That's all I got.
There we go.
Come on, you can't come
that's
up with
going-
anything.
No, I'm out.
You don't even have a
listen to-
Hayden Degan one.
I didn't listen to any music.
Welcome to the Danger Zone.
I don't listen to
Highway to the Danger Zone.
Yeah, there you go.
No. We're gonna talk about the danger zone.
Or you can do, yeah, I don't think he got that from
You
us
want
and put it on the
royalties?
podium, but
Get some royalties on that one.
I mean, can we just say that I posted a story of our Degan Danger Zone logo and tagged him and Brian? You just be like, "Hey, motherfuckers, we had this last year."
The problem is we'll never know, but
Don't care.
it's a cool thought.
I know.
yeah.
We can go back in the archives.
Oh, I know.
This has been there.
Because he's never brought that up before.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. So
but
it's
the
like
fact that it's there, I love it now.
I mean, you definitely could see the correlation that it came from us, but like they'll never.
Why?
come up.
You think because the way you said it, like the way you say it?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, let's be real. It's real easy. It's a really easy like segue to say that.
Yeah.
But it is wild because like that's not something you just think of off the top of your
I
head. There's
mean,
got to be
when
some,
I
like,
was listening to
planning
that
behind
press
it.
conference-
Danger Boy, Danger Zone. I don't know.
I don't know.
But that family though, dude, they're so calculated with everything they do on the
Look,
social
Which
media.
we're gonna get into that. How
Look.
calculated they are, and I want to know if it's.
Yeah, we'll get there. All I gotta say is when he brought that up in the presser last night, because I was listening to the presser when I was in the shower while I was waiting for the video to upload, and I was just like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah.
What do you say in the
That's
presser?
He talked. He literally, somebody asked him about the danger zone thing. I didn't hear the actual question, and then I just hear him be like, "Yeah, danger zone. Like my thing's been danger boy. It's kind of easy to put together." And I'm like, "Son of a bitch."
Dude, people are not really happy. We'll get into it.
Sure, we'll
People
get
are
into it. We'll
People
get
aren't
into it.
happy with him about his podium interview.
Well,
I'll go deeper.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so so like I said, full pack show tonight. We got our 450 race recap brought to you by Worx. We have our 250 race recap brought to you by 50 Grafx. We're in the TLR Coatings studios. I'm not sure I have a TLR Coatings tinfoil hat tonight, but maybe I'll come up with something as we're speaking. We've got an Isaac Nelson Designs which was coined by us first.
I have a. I
Just
have
want to put that out
I have
there
a
for
rant.
everyone.
I have a rant.
Oh, you have a holster coat. I have two.
I just have a rant.
I think I have one too.
Perfect. So we all got holster co reload rants. So like I said, full pack show. Let's jump into this here. 450 race recap brought to you by Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha,
No.
Jason Anderson, and Cameron McAdoo.
No, Barsha and Anderson are out. They don't hold a candle to McAdoo.
Oh my God.
So,
Okay.
Like literally
So-
a candle.
so the
literally
450
Like one
race
of them little,
recap,
like short candles compared to a big candle, like candlestick.
it's brought to you by
Candelabra.
Gutterworks. Always well hung, like Cameron McAdoo.
Okay. All right. Fine. That's
Until
fine.
we
No problem.
see somebody prove otherwise. But we literally
Whacker-
saw what he's working with.
Whackers is packing.
Whackers is packing.
He's got a whacker packer. Look, I got
Sometimes I hate the show.
I got a comment on him too later on here.
Okay. Hopefully
Anyway,
it's, you know.
all right,
About his knee injury.
So Cooper Webb has now won 6 out of 10 races at Arlington, which is an insane stat.
How do you like him counting his fingers in front of the camera?
I thought it was kind of gay, but
it was kind of lame.
it wasn't that cool.
It's a wild stat, though, man.
It is. I mean,
That's like Chad in San Diego.
Tomac at Daytona.
Yeah.
Like that was the only thing. I didn't think of the Chad thing. I compared it to the Tomac at Daytona thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that where he went over the bars and onto the concrete as well?
Yes, Dragon's back.
Was that-
2019 or 2020.
Was
Was that Arlington or Dallas?
No, it was
it?
Arlington. Yeah,
Okay.
we've been in AT&T Stadium the
That's
entire
true.
time.
Yeah, we
since
haven't
I've
been
been
to Dallas
into
in a
it,
while.
so.
You're right.
I don't know. Fact check that though, but yeah, if that's the case, he's had a lot go on in that building.
Yeah, that was a wild stat when I heard that. And
I didn't even think about that.
So
Think about when it started, too.
Lots of
yeah.
concrete
Think about
getting
that.
hit in that building.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
so I mean, he was just opportune there.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't really great all day.
No, and he wasn't winning that if Jet doesn't crash.
And to be honest with you, I looked at that track, and even though being tight, compact, like, I didn't really feel that was going to be a track that he was going to excel at because of the fact that, like, you know, we all know that Coop's things late in the races is hounding people, being able to turn down early, you know, go lower and lower, stay tighter, figure out a line when the fast line through the rhythms isn't working. But that track didn't rut up as much as I think a lot of people did. So, like, you were pretty much able to hit the fast line the entire night. And obviously, Coop sometimes, like, he gets late into those races, and he's not always willing, for instance, like a 3-3-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not really his thing, is he figures out a way to make a 2-3-2 or whatever work.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I go, yeah, I mean, Coop could have a good night. But after I saw the practice, I'm like, I don't really think this is going to be the track that Coop, because you're going to have to push the
race?
Because you're going to have to push the whole night to win a main. And I'm just like, this is not really a Coop track.
I mean, he went first to fourth in his heat race in 3 corners.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking terrible. Yeah. Absolutely terrible. And I mean, I just wrote him off at that point. He didn't look good in I mean, he was like 11th or 12th in practice, which in the practice show I said, okay, it's very typical Coop-ish of like not looking good.
But not late, but not really this year though, because if you look back at some of his practice this year, he's been at the top of the board quite a bit.
I mean, I'll agree with that, but then like we get to that main and he gets a start. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. He's going to go backwards like he did in the heat. And then he just hung. And just hung and was, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Then it got to like 5.
But then it dropped back down.
Yeah,
and
it was a weird thing. And then, like I said, then Jet crashes and boom, there we are.
This is what Coop does, though.
Yeah,
this is what Coop does.
This is who he is.
And now he's only 3 points back, which is
not who you want 3 points back.
No.
And you know who's sneaky good at Daytona? He's been
Cooper Webb.
He's been giving Tomac some runs.
I don't really think it's going to matter this year, but we'll get into that. But you're right. I mean, what was it? Was it 2 years ago that like had the whole incident with? Was it McElrath and the Worx? Yeah, he would have. I mean,
he would have won that.
He would have won. He would have won.
He was on the bike last year that everybody said was shitty, and he still gave him a little bit of a run.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you can look back even to 2018, his first go around with factory Yamaha, when he was 2 seconds a lap slower than Eli, but he was running a wide bike and he was making Eli work for it. Eli got pissed at him
and cleaned him.
Yeah, but he was making him work for it. So
I forgot about him cleaning him out.
That was a fun night. Not for Eli, but that was a fun night.
Dude, last
partying?
No.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me.
What are you doing?
His last 4 Daytonas have been third, second.
So good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's good. He's sneaky good.
You're not wrong. Sneaky good there.
Yeah, for a guy that's not really pegged as, I guess, an outdoor guy on a 450, and everybody's like, oh, outdoor gnarly Daytona.
He's not an outdoor guy.
Well,
his outdoor skills
not
are
since
garbage.
the 250. Not since the 250
days. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll see how that bike reacts though with Daytona this year.
And that might give us a little bit of a
indication
peek
of what
of outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
I think he wants an outdoor title.
He does, but he ain't gonna get one.
I don't think so either. And then his teammate second place there, Eli Tomac.
Holy fuck!
Beast mode showed up.
I went back and looked at the lap times because you made the comment in the show about the 2 seconds. 8 laps in a row.
2 seconds a lap faster.
He was 45 seconds, where even Jet, like out front, was only at 47.
2 more laps, he wins that fucking race.
Easy.
What did Jet run like in the beginning when he was trying to sprint away?
I don't know.
He was running high 48s, and Eli was running. And when Eli was putting it, the last time Jet ran a faster lap time than Eli, because I looked at this morning because I knew we were going to talk about it, was lap 10. Jet went 46.2 or 46.3, and Eli went like 46.5. And then for the next 8 laps, Eli was 45, 45, 45, 45, and Jet was like 47 flat or 46.9, and it wasn't even fucking close. There was nobody else. Everybody else was like high 47s.
Yeah, I'm glad they had the camera on him as much as they did because, damn, that was impressive. And I could smell his clutch through the TV.
I knew.
Dude, did you hear Jace in the thing, the press conference?
So he could smell his clutch?
No. He was like, bro, he's like, I don't know how you did it, but in a stadium full of 450s, all I could hear was yours. Because
it reminds
you
me of
were
Amart's
just
comment.
ripping.
Reminds me of Amart's comment about the Southwick thing.
Yeah.
He's like, Eli got behind me, and I'm like, holy fuck. Dude, I knew the moment after the first time session when Eli jumped out front. And we talked about this like back at A2 where he just starts soaking shit up and he's working the front end for no
You
reason.
could see it
I'm
almost.
like, he's feeling
back.
dirty. Because Eli doesn't jump out in front in
No.
time practice. He doesn't give two shits about it.
Practice looked good, and then the heat race, that battle with AP, and you could watch that. I mean, dude, he was scrubbing lower than AP over stuff, and I'm just like, that's not how Tomac rides
you don't
a
see
lot of
him
times.
toss a whip
No,
over the
he
not
was
in the middle of the race.
triple, just toss him.
You also
Yeah.
don't see him really ever in his career, like for a heat race, try to run it. Like he gave AP space, but he ran him up wide and made him realize that he was there. Dude, I just like I think it was the moment he got around AP in the main coming out of the sand section before, and he came out of that single and he got a little loose, like he buried it and it shifted in and he got like way to the left and he just held it wide open. You could see when he landed, he clutched it and he just straightened it back out. Next thing you know, he's in the fucking manual mode, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was one of those times where you look at Tomac and you're like, holy shit.
Well, and we now know he's pissed.
Yeah,
And everybody's in trouble.
So I have a question for you two. He comes back next year now, right?
Oh.
I don't know. We got to let the rest of the year play out. I'm not claiming him coming back after one good
That old man
ride.
comment made me go, he's not done.
Oh, and I also think we see him outdoors.
I think so too.
I think outdoors because I think that he is not the old man thing, but I also think there's this narrative going on because of like everybody, we all heard it, like Chase, like, oh, he battled with Eli and Chase could have won it, but even on like Chase's good days, like Eli did everything for him and Jet waxed him, and I think Eli wants to prove, yeah, no, I can beat Jet outdoors.
I think it was more the Jet comment of, oh yeah, it was cool to just pass Eli Tomac, and Jet kind of said it like Tomac ain't shit no more.
Eli's not like, this is,
He's not to be trifled with here.
I've watched Eli for a very, very long time, and that comment actually shocked me because first off, somebody as accomplished as much as him, and we've all talked about this.
He's usually not very animated.
He doesn't really like, for him to say that is way out of character for him because normally he doesn't care what other people think about him. So for him to make a point of, yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of being called the old man, I'm just like, ooh, oh boy.
I didn't see any woodpecker though. You know he's pumped when he starts woodpeckering. I didn't see any of that.
He does do that too. He's like,
When he's
yeah,
pumped-
so we
when
had a
he's pumped, he
good
just
heat
eat.
race. That was a good race with AP there.
well, and
like that video of him trying to blow the bike up at MXDN. He's just
Well, dude,
time,
and you could also tell after that heat race, dude, the fact that like he was huffing and puffing, his heart rate was through the roof. That like I think he wants to win every time on track now.
So
AP gave him
did
a little bit
they?
of a run. Too.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
dude. His heart rate was through the roof. Because when do you ever see Eli huff and
No.
puff?
So did they find something with the bike, or this is just a newfound passion of?
I think it's him.
fuck
I think
this.
it's-
I'm over
I
it.
think
I'm
it's a
gonna
lot
fucking
of-
prove him wrong.
I think it's a lot of what you said, but I think it's a little bit of both.
I think it's him. Like that bike was fine last year.
Dude, the dichotomy of the first 6 rounds and then this is like, I mean, it is night and day difference.
Well-
and I know he won that third race in the Triple
And he was
Crown
also, it's
there,
not like he was
but-
bad at Glendale. Like, Jet just caught him. Like,
Yeah, but it just
wasn't.
wasn't Tomac at Glendale, you know.
2 weeks off, man. I don't
And
know what
they
he was
did
doing.
test. They went over that several times that they tested. So they didn't close down the goat farm for him to test, but they did test at the goat farm.
I think
I saw him riding. Yeah.
I think they're all in trouble, to be honest with you, man. I understand he's 13 points back, but dude, that's just 4 rounds.
I think his fitness is just finally coming back to where it was.
I think that he trusts that Achilles too.
Yeah,
I think having the time
that could
off.
be well. Because did you notice some like in practice and some of the stuff yesterday? Then they were showing him he was over jumping some things, and I'm with you on that. That might be like between the 6 races and now this, it's like okay, we're cool. I mean, Jason Thomas talked about this a lot. Of like, look, you don't take 5 months off the bike and just jump back on and go.
Especially
after
at
an
31.
injury.
Especially at 31 years
Yeah,
old.
like it just doesn't happen. So it takes him some time to warm up. But now it's warmed up, and dude, I don't. Here's the thing: this may come down, and I know we're still kind of in that realm of like, who knows, because there's 7 guys within 19 points. But at this point now, I'm starting to look at it and go, okay, so if Eli's coming on, obviously Webb's always lurking, and then you've got Jet. Like, are those the big 3 that are going to be there?
I think AP's going to be there till the end, but I don't think he's going to have a shot at like winning the title.
AP is going to be there and
mathematically.
I really like AP, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that he just kind of hangs around. We basically forget about him, and then next year when we do our preview show, we're like, oh man, he was like 4th in points.
Yeah, well, there's another guy that's just kind of hanging around.
Yeah.
It was Sexton.
We'll get to him in a sec.
That's. I've got a lot of questions. It's not going well, but he's still kind of in it.
We'll get there. I'll say this, and you can timestamp this, mark this, whatever. If he goes out and he dog slaps them next weekend at Daytona,
that's where I'm getting really concerned here as a Jet fan. Is okay, so he does this.
Because Jet's really good at Daytona.
Obviously, he's pissed. Yeah, Jet's really good there, too.
I mean, we haven't seen him on a 450, but, like, it's going to translate.
But that's Tomac's house. And so now you put him at 2 basically excellent rides in a row.
And I'll tell you this right now, and this is just an honest opinion of mine. I think it's even going to be more so that if Eli doesn't get a start and Jet does, because obviously Jet's starts are back. I mean, Glendale was up and down, but, like, his starts are back. Let's be real. If Jet rips a start and Eli tracks him down and passes him, do you like not for maybe Eli, because I think Eli won't care, but for Jet, because we've said this a lot, Jet really hasn't much in his 450 career been caught and passed. It's been happened a few times, but it's rare.
He did, and then he pulled over.
Yeah, but if Eli catches him, passes him, and walks away from him, you got to believe that's going to be a mental thing for Jet, because this year it's going great. Obviously, he's got the red plate, and we'll talk about it. But something like that, he's just not used to it.
As far as we can jump into Jet here. So as far as the Jet Lawrence thing goes, he's going through some major growing pains right now.
I mean, and it was about to happen. Yeah. Like, he's not God.
And
like,
I told somebody, I don't know if it was
450 season, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, I told somebody, and I don't know if it was in the comments or it was DM or something. I told somebody, I'm like, look, I'm probably just a year or two early on the 17-0 thing.
It's still never going to happen.
Because this is once he goes through all of these rookie mistakes, like last night, okay? I had people texting me, fuck Vince Freeze. That was not Vince Freeze's fault.
That was Jet's
Jet
fault.
made a shitty line choice. Like, he decided to run. Like, you have to look ahead and go, okay, I'm going to catch whoever we're lapping here.
Poor Vince.
Oh, dude, I know.
Vince didn't do anything wrong.
No, that was totally...
every incident last night, or should I say Vincident last night, was he was involved.
Yeah.
I mean, Jet just could have ran it down the middle like he was. He was locked into the middle line, run it up, and he rushed it. And he was like, oh, man, I can close the gap.
Yeah,
and
then
I
also want to point out that Webb's jump line was just as fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now... does he get Webb there somewhere? I don't know. Here's the thing. I think he should
passing Webb.
I think he should have gone up and just taken him out in that corner before the whoops. To be honest with you,
what would have been
was
smart?
Your shot.
You know what actually been smart? Just take second.
Well, I mean, that's
Just
that's the other thing. Like, if you had, like, I thought by watching it, and I haven't watched it back a second time, I thought he had a shot at him in that corner before the whoops, and he didn't take it.
He would have had to make it happen there, because it was not going to happen before the finish, because there was no way Jet.
Yeah.
He was going to have to get aggressive. He was not going to turn down tighter than Coop. And like, say in the finish, he would have had to hit Coop as hard as Coop would have turned down.
Yeah, so I don't know, but
James Stewart.
But taking second, would have been the smart move.
Because Ricky and Weege were even asking this. Like, Weege brought it up. Like, I don't remember verbatim, but like, he was like asking Ricky. He's like, "Oh, what do you?" And Ricky goes, "Yeah, I mean, even if he wants to take second, like, he's got the points lead." In so many words, I know those weren't the exact words.
Yeah,
that's the most Ricky thing I've ever heard, though. Like, you look back at Ricky's career, he wasn't the fastest guy.
No way. And Ricky would have T-boned the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Webb reminds me a lot of Ricky.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the raw speed.
Ricky
That's probably why Ricky's on the Webb wagon.
Ricky took Chad out at a fucking heat race in Phoenix for no reason. In a heat race.
It wasn't no reason. He's Chad Reed and he's Ricky Carmichael. Fuck him. Like, that was the reason.
Chad cleaned him right back, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that was a bad line choice by Jet. He's going through growing pains here. I don't really... Does anybody really, and I know you guys are not Jet homers like me, but does anybody look at that first crash and be like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot. You shouldn't have done that," or like, was that just?
No, that was just track.
It just is what it is, man. I've seen Stu do that a million times. I've seen Ricky do it.
Well, how many times last night did we see it with guys coming up short and everything?
And that was the section where it was high line, low line,
Yeah.
and you were like turning up the
going to
face,
outside anyway.
and you were kind of fading to the outside as
Yeah.
you straightened out. And I think he just got too much of the weight to the outside.
Yeah.
I will say though, and you can even look back at the in Detroit, and obviously even A2. Jet's gotten real lucky with some of these crashes, though, man. Because
Oh, he
some of these
100% has.
like, and I understand it. Like he's a strong kid.
Yeah.
Like as Ricky says,
But
like
that
make
was
your own
about as
luck.
beautiful of a dismount as you could have last
thing
night.
that scares me with him,
Beautiful
though,
getting back on the bike and railing the turn after.
The thing that scares me though is you're only going to have so many of those before your
Oh, I
luck runs
know.
out, and that's what scares me with Jet is like, dude, there's been a lot of times, especially in his 250
Mm-hmm.
career, where he's just knock on wood gotten real lucky. One of these times he just ain't gonna be lucky, and because you could look at some of the crashes that he should have, the way they should have ended, should have taken him out for an entire year, and he
Yep.
just bounces back up and he's good. And like I said, that's part of him being strong.
Youthful exuberance.
But one of these times he's not going to get back
Uh-huh.
up, and like it scares me. Like what's going to happen to him if he doesn't get back up?
Yeah. Now, with also talking about Jet here, what y'all think of that heat race?
That was wild.
Dude, when he hit Ando,
He got in his own head.
When he hit Ando, I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
I don't really know what that. I went back and watched it because I missed that.
Did he
the first time,
So, do
but-
you think he?
No.
I don't think
misjudged how Ando was going to turn.
I think he misjudged it, but Ando just carved that line, I think, a lot tighter than he thought.
Yeah, but still, like, I think kind of a racing thing where
Yeah.
Anderson just carved down.
Well, Ando
And
even looked at
Ando
him.
just
Yeah.
looked back and was like, "All right, fuck you. I'm swinging
and
off
I
this
think
triple a little
Jet,
more."
I think Jet did like sorry, like you could tell instantly by his body language. It was like shit.
Oh, dude, he definitely got in his own
Yeah,
head
it
for
wasn't,
like 3
it
laps.
wasn't the right guy to do it to.
No.
He fucking faced that double. He was checking up on triples, and you could just tell
It
he
was
was
bad.
like,
It
oh,
was
he's
bad.
shook. He is shook.
Yeah, which you don't see Jet Lawrence. Does anybody think that he like consciously waited until there was like all 3 or 4 of them in a corner to be like, okay, cool, I'll go now.
Yeah,
like,
see
see ya.
ya.
Well, then it was funny too, because then like when Mookie and Ando blew the rhythm and Jet just drove down the inside, like I also don't think that he thought Mookie was going to come out of nowhere and pass him back.
No.
And he was just like, what the hell is going on right
going
now?
on here?
you come
He's like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. So I don't know. That heat race was absolutely
Oh, it was-
wild.
it was
though.
wild.
It was a great,
Like
great
both of
night
them were,
racing,
yeah.
Period. So
Yeah, because you had AP and Eli in the first one, and then that in the second one, and yeah, I will tell you though,
and Hardy Munoz in the 250.
Yeah,
we'll get into that one.
I'll tell you though, when he hit Ando, my butthole just puckered so hard, and I was like, "Oh my god, our season's over!" Like just like that, Ando's gonna absolutely destroy us in the next corner, and we're gonna die. And that's gonna be the end of Jet Lawrence 450 rookie Supercross season.
To get back to the racing part though, I do believe Daytona is going to be a very interesting weekend for him.
So I heard in a podcast this week that someone very close to the Lawrence camp, probably Dan Truman, said that at A2 he was very pissed off at the way round 2 and 3 had gone, and he was out to send a message. And
he didn't
in
send
this
the
guy's
message?
opinion, he tried too hard. I think it was Jason Thomas I was listening to, and JT was basically like, if he learns to, which he's like, I think he will, but if he learns to not try so hard and just let his talent do it, he goes, they're all screwed. Because like talent wise, he's so much better
Yeah.
than them. He goes, but the problem is that he gets his own head. He wants to try so hard, and then mistakes happen, much like we saw in A2, much like we saw last night with a couple of these things. So, like I said, it's growing pains. I mean, the sad thing is like we're watching these growing pains happen, and he's still got the points lead,
Yeah.
and the red plate. So like,
Right.
I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that to the sense though, because talent in the 450 class in Supercross at least is only going to take you so far when you're racing somebody like Eli Tomac, who's a workhorse. And we've already seen this even though they're not the same person, but if we're talking talent to busting your ass and grinding it out, we saw that forever with Stu and Ricky. Stu had 10 times the talent Ricky ever did. Jet has 10 times the talent Eli does.
yeah,
How'd that work out? Now,
yeah.
unfortunately, that's not really going to matter because Eli and Jet aren't going to be racing each other that much longer. Mm-hmm. But if we're just all going under the school of thought that like Eli is back, we still got a lot of rounds to go.
yeah,
And Jet does have the points lead, and it's 13 down. But I saw somewhere, and even though this is not 2017, someone made the comment. They're like, yeah, season didn't start off great that year. And then Eli all of a sudden, halfway into the season, found something. And we all know he didn't win the title that year. But look what happened the rest of the rounds. So it's like Daytona is going to be very wild this weekend.
I will say that I don't think this is the last time we're going to see the red plate on Jet's bike, and not on someone else's. I think it's going to change a whole bunch of different hands here as we go through these last 10 rounds that we got here.
Top 7 are still within 20, right?
Yeah, and I like I said, I think there's 3 or 4 of them that we're going to see it bounce around between here. I will say that if it does get to a point where Jet rattles off 2 or 3 in a row, then it's going to be kind of like, okay.
I just don't know if that's going to happen, though.
I don't know if it is either, and that was kind of what I was waiting for. I kind of looked at last night, and I had a thought of okay, if he comes out here and just starts blitzes everybody, then that could start to let the air out of the room of oh shit, he's now got this he went through a few rough rounds, some learning curves there, but now if he's got this figured out and he just blows doors off everybody, we're in trouble. But again, we haven't seen that yet. I think it's going to get there at some point, but how many more rounds before that? Might he rattle off the last 3 or 4? Maybe.
Eli also might rattle off the last 3 or 4.
That could be a thing too.
And Jet still has to prove he can come through the pack and win.
Yeah.
Eli just proved he can come through the pack.
Yeah. He's got to win. He's got to win.
You don't think Jet's ride last week was pretty good coming through the
third?
pack?
I'm talking about winning.
Well, yeah,
because
Eli got second.
Yeah, that's not my point. My point with Jet is you talk about rattling these off.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get a start. He's going to have to start in front to rattle shit off.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to start 6th and go to the front. So that's what I mean is his starts are really good. He's got him on point.
I don't know. He went 15th to 3rd last weekend.
But he didn't. My point is he didn't win.
One-line track.
He didn't win, though. That was my point. My point is you got
Tomac didn't win last night either. And he went 18th to 2nd, and it was an awesome ride.
Tomac also went 2 seconds a lap faster. Jet wasn't faster than Kenny at Glendale.
No, but
he also wasn't faster than Ando.
Jet also passed 12 dudes on a track that no one else was passing on last week.
I think you're missing
I'm
my
also
point.
talking about Tomac coming through the pack, going 2 seconds faster, and passing
people. That's my point. That's the difference. Jet still wasn't the fastest person going through the pack at Glendale.
Okay.
Eli last night was faster than everybody, including Jet out front. That's the difference.
Going through traffic.
Jet, to me, still has got to prove that he can win getting a bad start to do the rattling off. Because the way I look at it in my mind is, I'm not saying he can't rattle off. Of course he can. But he's only going to rattle off wins if he gets a start.
I can see that.
That's what I mean. If he gets a start, of course.
Yeah, we haven't seen him win yet without a start.
That was my point. It's not the fact of can he do it? Of course he can do it. He's got to get a start. So
no one this year has come through the pack though to win, right?
Yeah. No, nobody has.
Okay, everybody's basically
but Eli
something.
Yeah,
but Eli has done it enough in his career where I don't have a problem with it. Jet, that's all I'm saying is Jet still has to prove it. The moment he does it, I'll be like, okay, fine, he's done it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying is if he just continues to get starts and be's out front, of course, if he doesn't crash, of course he can get 2-3 wins in a row. But that's the only way he can do it. Okay. He's not going to get a 5th place start and win.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so backtracking a little bit here because Jet got 4th, AP gets 3rd. He is just spicy meatballs this year, dude.
Still can't get.
Who called that in the preview show? Can I claim that?
Yeah, I mean you can.
Has he just finally turned a corner in his career where he's kind of got it figured out and got a bike in a good spot?
I don't know. We saw a glimpse of this that year on Star where he was getting starts running up front and then just get hurt. He keeps getting set back. This is the first time he hasn't had really any setbacks, and this is, I think, where he belongs. Yeah, that's my phone. Yeah, I think he just had a good off season where he was really just working on himself, like you had mentioned. So I don't know, man. I like it. I'm here for it. I do think it's a little funny that you see interviews of him that's not on the broadcast. Mm-hmm. The accent really isn't there.
He's from fucking Ohio. Why would
and then when you put him on the stage or on the podium, the accent's a little stronger.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
which is fine. We need characters.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, it's a character situation, and that's fine.
Which I think is where the Degan direction's going, which I want to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But man, I'm happy to see it. Mm-hmm. We need that guy. Every interview's gold. Everybody.
I mean,
at least in Detroit was the loudest for him.
He's on the podium. Woo! Yeah! Woo! yeah, you know, like
he needs to be he
mullet
needs like
swinging.
a toe mater butt patch or something.
Something like that.
Reminds me of Mater.
Do you think a lot of it too has to do with KTM finally realize that this is just who AP is, and if they want to keep AP happy, they have to let him be himself?
Well, that, and I think I mentioned this before too. I think KTM saw something that maybe all of us missed, but you have a cowboy Midwest guy like that. Mm-hmm. Look how big the GNCC series is in the Midwest. Look how many off-road bikes KTM sells. Mm-hmm. The Supercross and motocross world of KTM is minuscule compared to the off-road bikes they sell. And he's an off-road guy.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, and
I hate to say it, but like, you know, to bring it sounds political, but you got your American redneck guy that everybody can resonate with.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing too with it is that there's a lot of talk that like he went to California, tested, came back, and was just faster than everybody.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you know the
which is weird.
You know the crazy thing too is like this is his second teammate in a row now that is just all business all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, when is AP going to get a teammate that, like, I understand him and Coop, they're boys. They've known each other for a long time. They grew up on Star together. Apparently, him and Chase get along well. They're from the same part. You know, Chase is from Illinois. You know, AP's from Ohio. Same neck of the woods. Mm-hmm. But I do wonder eventually when he's going to get a teammate that's like, oh, like, yeah, play around, joyful, whatever. And he just continues to get more serious ass fucking people every time.
I mean, how bad does it look if he's better than Chase just all year? Because they got the same amount of wins right now. And he's... I know Chase is kind of...
AP looks a lot better in the heat races.
And I know Chase is kind of hurt right now, but he's head and shoulders better than Sexton the last couple of weeks there.
I think AP is going to be there for the rest of the year, man.
I think so, too.
I hope so.
I don't think this is a flash in the pan. Like,
you know what's wild, too, though, is like, dude, he tries so hard in qualifying to put a heater in.
and just cannot do it.
And he is pissed. Dude, he was visibly pissed.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell, dude, he was pushing so hard. Comes off, doesn't see his name on the board, and he's just rolling back into the mechanics area, and you could tell he's just, like, shaking his head. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, dude, AP, you're not a heater guy. Like, you're a racer. Like, you can't get in that mindset of just putting all your eggs in one basket for one lap. Mm-hmm. And it's wild, too, though, because, like, if he continues to go on this path and he's there and he's winning heat races or running up front and getting podiums, and then his his practice is just... like, we talk about Coop. This is worse than Coop.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Coop at least could put it in the top 10, put it in the top 5 on KTM. AP's not even in the top 10.
Yeah. I believe he'd be our points leader if he didn't tuck the front end in Glendale.
Probably.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
He'd still be our points leader.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing like Detroit. Had Detroit not happened, like he had bad luck at Detroit too.
Yeah.
What happened there?
He just got shit start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wasn't great. All right, moving on. Hunter Lawrence 5th. Is this just a slow burn like he did in the 250 class, and he just kind of builds and builds and builds?
Maybe they've got his gas figured out.
You think so?
I think he's gonna be better outdoors.
It seems like the last 2 weeks have been where we've expected him. Like they've got something figured out with his body.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because he was able to charge all the way through the end, it looked like. Yeah, it's kind of where we pegged him, right? You know,
top 5 guy, yeah.
I just honestly think he's going to be better outdoors on the 450. I think he's going to be good, and I think eventually he'll get a win or two in his career. And I still think he could win some heat races by the end of this year.
He's only, 23, 24?
Yeah.
Like, he's not that old.
I just think he's going to be a better 450 outdoor guy for the same reasons that Jet is, like, unbeatable, I guess you could say, outdoors, because he hops, skips around, and just conserves so much energy. He is so light on the bike, and you would think that would translate to Supercross, but like we've talked about, there's some times where you just got to be willing to lay it on the line in Supercross because everybody's so close.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if Hunter is that guy.
No.
He's VRM, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's VRM, and I think as his years progress here, if he stays healthy here, he will just continue to build, and then all of a sudden he'll be like
It'll be that
Ryan Dungey, like 2.0
like
almost.
I'll put it this way, just so you, like, I understand you guys like get what I'm saying, but like my train of thought on this, that if Jet wasn't there, like if Jet wasn't racing, I actually believe a year from now, Hunter would be the favorite outdoors.
Interesting.
I think that if that just tells you what I think, how good I think he's going to be outdoors. I think this season outdoors
bold
might be.
Move, copy. Oh my God. We're good.
If
So-
Jet wasn't there, I think that's how I truly believe that Hunter would be the favorite.
Okay.
Also, side note, bold move, Cotton. I just watched Dodgeball last night, and it was hilarious. I forgot how funny that movie is.
All right, so Sexton's hand is better.
I think it's still
sore, he said, but it's better.
because you could
Claimed
tell,
a
dude.
bone bruise.
Yeah,
right?
bone bruise, and he said it's past the point of weakness now. It's just it gets sore, and because it gets sore, he lets off with that one, squeezes harder with the right one, gives him arm
compensating.
pump. Yeah, but sixth place. I mean,
dude, you could tell.
he's staying in it, but it's like if he goes too many more races, like if he goes another 2 or 3 races and it's not fully healed, and he does these fades to 5th, 6th place. Like, he's going to be out of this title quick.
The other thing that worries me is there's none of that raw speed in qualifying.
Well,
And that bike is definitely holding him back.
after hearing how the offseason went with him, which was not super positive, yeah.
I still have yet to listen to that show.
I
Where he kinda went into it.
I firmly believe that bike is not doing what he wants it to do, specifically in the rear end, because I think they put so much focus on the front end with the bracing and him trusting it. That you watch a lot of times, not like when he's putting in heaters or when the track is fresh. When the track breaks down, you can clearly tell with that back end it is not planted, and it's almost like he can't catch a break. He was so hesitant with the front end on the Honda. Now he's on a bike that the front end is planted and he knows what it's going to do. Now I feel like that back end is just like it's bouncing all over the fucking
Yeah, I
place.
have to watch it a little more. But either way, it was. I'm eating crow here because in the beginning of the year at our preview show, I was like, man, he passed the eye test. He looked really good on that bike. But now, once we get into race time, I haven't, like you said, that raw speed chase Sexton. We have not seen it. Not even in the beginning rounds and qualifying. You know he's always good for at least one heater being at the top of the board. I haven't seen his name at the top of the board barely all year.
No.
Well, that heat race, he caught Hunter, and he caught and passed Hunter in the heat race, and he got a bad start. But the main, I just think the main had everything to do with his hand. Like, he just fell off. Like, after Eli dropped him, he just went backwards. I mean, dude, he's good in the first time session when the track is, like, just started to break down a little bit and break in, and you could get a good flow going. But that second session, though, man, like, after it gets backbladed and it's completely fresh, especially now since, like, we've just decided mid-season that 450s go first. Fucking stupid.
We're going to get to that.
Weird.
You would think that it would be even better because now he's got the track dialed in. He knows what the bike's going to do. And like I said, it's fresh. But yeah, you're right. Like, it's just not there. Like, he's like 4th, 5th. He'll put in a good heater and then everybody will up it. And he just can't up it again.
Yeah, I haven't seen that just like, wow, yet,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. Justin Cooper, 7th. Justin Cooper is stupid fast in qualifying.
He was the first one to triple into the whoops, by the way.
Yeah.
It's there.
He's going to be good
Sweet
outdoors.
there.
He's going to be really good outdoors.
I'd like to see what he could do with a start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say other than it's just always crazy.
I think he could lead a couple laps, but
I also think, too, he's pretty good at the end because, once again, we've talked about this. J. Coop knows who J. Coop is, and he's not going to get too high and he's not going to get too low.
Yeah.
But you might be right. Like, dude, maybe he gets a start one of these times, and he's not going to be able to run that pace for 20 minutes plus one.
no, but I think he can lead a couple laps.
But maybe because he puts himself in a good situation where he's not running through the trash, that he goes back to 5th. Maybe he can put a push up to 4th because he's not like blowing himself out.
Well, the other part of that too is he learned the pace.
He does. And you could see it in
He
practice.
could learn the pace.
You can see it in practice that, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and you kind of have to really pay attention to the race day live show. But there's times where I've noticed when the camera's been on him, specifically A2, when he puts in a heater and he comes off, and obviously he's like everybody else, he's looking around. He'll take a lap where he's like watching what everybody else is doing, like from what he can see. Mm-hmm. And it's the learning thing. Like, I think he's out there. He goes in and puts a heater. He stays in the top of the board. He gets pumped up. But then he'll go and he'll watch. Like, what's Jed doing?
Yeah, it's
What's
probably
Eli doing?
Probably a douchebag comment here, but he's educated. He actually finished school.
But you're not wrong, though. But, dude, like,
You're not
that's
wrong.
that's the thing, though. You don't see, like, we all know these dudes, they watch and they watch the film. But we also know some of these guys are so fucking talented that they say they're watching. But let's be real, they're like, cool. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care. I think when you see Jay Coop doing that, I think he's actually, like, studying.
I think so, too.
Oh, Jet's doing this. Like, he's moving over here. This is how he's hitting the whoops. I maybe can't hit it that way, but I'm going to try to incorporate somewhat of that.
Yeah.
And you see it in time practice, dude. Like, he's been at the top of the board how many times this year?
Oh, yeah, multiple. And I
So-
think he's going to be another guy that we're going to get to the end of the year and be like, Look at that. 6th place in points or something like
I
that.
agree. I agree.
Kenny, not as great of a night. 8th place.
He was involved in a incident.
Incident.
Was that him? And Mookie was in that too, right?
Yeah, because he had a Vincent and then Mookie ran over him.
Can we make that shirt?
Yes, Vincent.
And then just have Vince on there, his face, and then have like a little.
We can't use his likeness.
Yeah, shout out to whoever said that on Twitter. Whoever added us and
But
said Vincent.
shirts may be coming soon.
Just a
I
Vincent.
like it. Stu.
Had a little
9th
bit of
place.
a Mookie sighting, and
Dude, Heat Race Stu showed up
for a minute, he was saucy.
for a minute.
I think he
He
blew
was
himself
spicy.
out, but he was saucy.
Yeah, it might have been a situation too.
Hey man, if Heat Race Mookie shows up for 6 laps out of 8, like I'm cool.
Hey, look, man.
Better than his teammates.
Let's just have a race without something stupid happening.
Like
that-
yo, better than his fucking teammate.
That got
He's
that
got
got
a black
Husky.
cloud over him.
That got Husky at least something this year. Like,
So
Also, let's segue over to the other teammate while we're on Husky. But go ahead.
Yeah.
no, I was just gonna
we
say, and because I guess this is good, like a good segue because we're gonna talk about Christian. Apparently, there's a lot of belief in the pits that, how do I put this in the most kindest way?
oh boy.
That team doesn't give two shits what their results are, because there's people that have talked to Ramsey, Nate Dogg, and other people on that team, and they're just kind of like, yeah, it's whatever. Like it's
It's the redheaded stepchild of the
Yeah.
KTM group.
KTM group.
there's a thing going around in the pits right now that apparently the Husky team just doesn't care. They don't care what the results are. It is what it is.
Well, isn't so in
mean-
bike terms though? Like for general public, isn't it like KTM's top of the line,
Yes.
and then it's Husky, and then it's gas, right?
over here at least.
Yeah, I thought it was the way I had learned it when I worked at a dealership was that Husky was gonna be like Cadillac, and
Okay.
then KTM was gonna be like your Chevy,
Oh, yeah.
Denali, kind of stuff like that.
And then gas was a Saturn.
It was Buick.
Okay.
See-
Or not Buick, but yeah, I guess
Yeah, Saturn.
Oldsmobile. I don't know.
Oldsmobile, yeah.
See, in Europe, it's obviously KTM, gas, Husky. The Huskies
Yeah.
making a move up because of the people that are on that team, the Nistan team.
Hmm.
But over in Europe, it's KTM just because they've won everything, and
Yeah.
then gas is getting close because of DeCarly, and then like I said, Husky is just kind of like down here.
Yeah.
But apparently over here, like I guess just the American Husky team doesn't give a shit.
That's interesting.
They just don't care.
It's weird.
And I don't know if that's just because
If they don't give a shit, then Craig doesn't return all year. He just cashes his check and he's done.
I bet Craig doesn't come back. To be honest with you, I don't know if
That bike is
the bike isn't good for him. And do we think his elbow's really screwed up, or
no, I think he's pulling a Mookie except in Supercross.
Yeah, like I guess that team allows you to get hurt and just collect your paychecks.
But that would be the point, though, that like what I've heard that they just don't give
care.
a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they've let Mookie get away with this for how many years now? And I
Yeah.
understand it's Mookie and his name holds weight, but like that's actually a really good indicator that they don't care.
For Christian, we all know that he's been. It just kind of depends on his mindset, right? That's kind of the roller coaster that he rides. And when you listen to him talk the last 2 years, it's like somebody stepped on his dog. You know what I mean? And he was just like, man, I'm just not confident in myself, and blah blah blah. And it's definitely that bike, 100%. I could see him. He needs to milk the elbow thing, just get out of his contract and go to like a Firepower Honda or something where the pressure is a little less. Like,
yeah,
Go to Moto Concepts.
I don't think I could see him going there because of the Fox gear deal thing.
It's true.
But I guess Firepower, same way. They're a fly gear deal. But
You know what the unfortunate thing is? And I hate to say this so much. I think after this contract's up, Christian's never on a factory team ever again.
no,
probably not.
he's like going to be the new Dean Wilson.
You know
Yeah.
the other thing is too. Can you think about the fact that he could have came back and defended his title?
He could have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody made a point about this. I didn't realize that either because
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to that stuff. But somebody made a point. They're like, just think if he had came back and defended his title, the situation that he'd be in right now.
He definitely wouldn't be on a steel frame.
It'd be a lot different, man. It'd be a lot different. And it's just, dude, it's a bummer because
I could always see him on a Kawasaki. Honestly,
I
Yeah.
think he would look good on a Cowie.
I think he'd be good.
To be
on
honest
Cowie.
with you,
probably. So Ando is 10th.
that was not a good night for him.
Yeah,
he was
that
down with
weird.
Barsha early though.
He
Was
was,
he?
dude, but he was like,
He was just flat.
Yeah.
and especially after the whole thing with Jet and the heat race, which like you wouldn't think would mess with him. So like I don't really know if that was it. It seemed like after that happened, dude, he just went backwards and he never recovered the rest of the night.
I'll be honest.
weird.
I don't think he wins a race this year now.
I
Really?
still don't count that man out. It just depends on the mindset he comes into town with.
I mean, we keep clicking these off, going, yeah, he's gonna do it, and he looks good, but like, yeah, it looks good, but is it race winning good?
I'm trying to.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think
see.
of. I'm trying to think of the rounds. I mean, dude, Triple Crown. I think is. I think
good
Triple
in
Crown.
He's always been. Good
I think
in
Triple Crown. I think Triple Crown's probably his best bet
Maybe. I
because
don't
he's
know.
so good at the beginning of the race.
I'm
Not that he's
about-
not good at the end, but like, dude, he's
I'm about
so good.
70-30. He doesn't win one now.
I'm a. Why you say Triple Crown? I'm scared to death of an Indy Triple Crown. You know how shitty that track's gonna
Oh,
be.
good. It's gonna be great because we're gonna be there, and it's gonna be hell.
Is it Triple Crown that
Yeah.
day? Son of a bitch.
Triple Crown that day. Triple Crown. Nope.
Oh man. All right.
It's gonna be shit though, dude. If the track's like last year,
Vin,
Rock Cross,
Yeah.
Vince Freeze 11th.
not a bad
Dude,
night for that.
Not
team.
bad.
11th.
Night. I know.
Not a
He's
bad
a
night.
good fucking
When
rider.
he was getting lapped there, and we were all going, I didn't realize where he was at. And then when they put the results up, I was like, you know, it's even harder to be mad at him now. Like at first, I wasn't, but it was even harder when that was up. And some of the people that text me, they were like, "Oh, he should be pulled off track." And I'm like, he was in 11th.
He's a good fucking rider.
Yeah,
Dude, good night for that whole team, getting all three of you guys in the main.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
like,
was pretty good.
First
Good for
ever
them.
race on a 450, right?
And yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
and
that was-
Oldenburg was 12th.
God, Oldenburg.
Really?
God, he looks good on a 450, man. I know we've seen it before. Dude, fastest qualifier there for a bit. And then
Yeah.
the whole A group came out and that went backwards. But I'm like, hey, it's fine. Mumford,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
He's Mumford. Sorry, I caught myself. I was about to say something. But he looked
yeah.
better on that bike than I thought. Like when I seen that he was on the list for the 450, I was like, I don't know if that's good. He's fine.
Dino 13th,
Oh, I bet he's eating his heart out that Vince beat him straight up.
probably
His sole goal is just to be Vince every time.
every
Yeah.
single round
Oh,
this
I
year.
guarantee it is.
Well, good thing they get to race each other the whole entire year in Supercross.
Well, guess what? And all the off-season races.
That's what I mean.
so-
Like the whole when the whole entire year you get to ride him all the way through US Supercross, and then you get to run him in Australia, and then you get to run him in WSX.
Hey, shout out to Diener the Wiener for being my wild card in Rocky Mountain.
Hey, at least you weren't one of the doofuses that picked Christian Craig.
It's funny.
Yeah.
When they announced that, I was laughing.
I was like, wow, you guys really don't pay attention to shit.
So, what do you guys think of Justin Barcia's farewell tour?
What the fuck, dude?
That's not good.
What is?
I'm here to tell you, he is on gas next year.
Well, especially because Prado's coming in.
Well, not
I
only
think
that.
Prado's
No,
gonna
that is
Kawasaki.
not that is not the reason I'm saying that. He is throwing them under the bus about the bike.
Oh, well, yeah.
He is
Has he?
completely. Oh, dude, he put out a tweet like in the off week that was basically like, "Yeah, the bike put me on the ground at Glendale," and then everybody went, "Ooh, you don't get to say that." Like that is not a tweet that you put out. That the bike.
Well,
Actually,
we-
I don't think
in
it
his
was a
career
tweet. I
where he
think it was a
doesn't give a fuck.
post.
Like we've seen this though. Like Barcia, he's talked about this. Like he has all this shit that's happened in the industry that like when he retires, like he's blowing everybody out. And Cole's right. Like I don't think he cares.
I mean, yeah, and my thing is like I don't know where he goes after this. If he wants
They
to
should
keep
do a
racing,
swap. When Prado comes over here, he goes over there.
maybe.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, they might do
I
that.
mean, they
But
might do
I
it.
don't-
They're going to be looking for
But
a guy.
if he keeps, because even in what was I listening to yesterday? They did some
bike
interview.
Was he on last year? Was he on the older one last year?
Yeah.
I could have swore he was on the new one. And was like the only
he
guy
was on
that
the
was
he was
riding it
he was
decent.
still on the old one because the gas was still the old frame last year.
Well, he sure as shit after this year is not going to another Austrian team.
No, and that's where when you say about trading, I'm like, dude, if he continues, because there was an interview yesterday too where he talked about the bike not being good. Oh yeah, well, maybe it was it before they did the LCQ or something? I don't know. And he basically alluded to like, yeah, the bike's shit, but
He
we're
had a
working on
crash
it.
in practice or something too. Right?
Yeah,
The thing about Barcia is that he's at a point in his career, he's made so much money that if he's not on a factory team, he's not racing.
maybe he'll go race mountain bikes or something. I don't know.
Oh, I think he'll retire.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like you say that he did pony up and put together a privateer program.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's putting together a privateer program
think
at
it's
this
about-
point, though.
right?
Yeah.
But
I think, like I said, if he does retire, forced retirement, whatever you want to call it, I think he just goes and races mountain bikes like he's talked about doing. If he doesn't go do any GPs, but again, that's going to be dependent upon getting some sort of factory ride over there too, which who knows how that's going to go. So
I think they'd take him. Somebody would find it.
oh, somebody would love to have him over there.
probably. All right. So Shane Sins is 15th. Ryan Brees shows up, gets
Shane
16th.
Sins, dude, just out there plumbing.
Yeah, Ryan Brees, pretty much
Brees,
the
16th.
whole Arena Cross squad showed up.
He is making Kyle Peters shit his pants a lot over there.
Oh, dude, he's been
I watched the
making
whole thing talking about Peters and how he is freaking out right now.
he's been
Like,
making Peters work for it.
well, did you hear that Peter's like was on the 250, then went to
Tried
a
a
450?
Yeah, because Bruce
Breeze,
just rides the 450 out there.
and everything, and like the thing I watched, there was some YouTube video. They were like, yeah, so like even when Peters wins, like you can tell he's like defeated already.
Well, you know what's great too? Old Jared Lesher's out there on a YZ252 stroke, and
making
he's beaten both of them a
Yeah.
few times this year.
Yeah, I would wonder how Lesher would be on a 4-stroke. I ask myself that every time I watch him.
Honestly, man, that kid, well, he's not a kid anymore. I think he'd be good, like a mod 250F. But he's run 2-strokes for so long. It's kind of like the Stanky thing, but better. I think unless you paid him pretty good money, I don't think he would just go ride a 4-stroke anymore at this point.
Probably
Does
not.
he make Daytona on the 2-stroke?
If he shows up, I think so.
I think so,
He'll
because
probably
the
show
arena
up.
cross is
It's
the night before.
Yeah, it's in Daytona. So
Yeah,
I think all those guys are going to come over.
I think he does. I really do. I don't know what he does after that, but I think he will make it.
I'm interested to see how many Supercross guys go to that arena cross.
Probably the
Vice-
whole
vice
Partzilla
versa.
team.
Vice versa.
Probably
Yeah.
the whole Partzilla team, the whole HBI team.
Maybe.
The HBI team needs to pick me up right now.
Justin Hill 17th. Benny Bloss is 18th.
We might see Colton Nichols at Daytona.
Well, I did see John Short back on a Cowie, so
Well, Colton Nichols,
Yeah,
they
Colton
made a
Nichols
comment
is
that
riding.
he was originally supposed to be in Arlington, and then they realized that he was not ready. But he's been riding, and then now they think he's gonna be back at Daytona.
Well, I heard Ty Masterpool wasn't coming back to outdoors either, and then we saw him yesterday. So
Ty
whatever.
Masterpool should have
Ty
not been back
Masterpool-
to
I
I
outdoors.
didn't say it was a good idea, but
Ty
I
Masterpool is also from Texas.
Like,
Yeah.
look, Matt Bell or whatever that team owner should just pay him to ride outdoors.
SMX guy only.
Mumford
Jesus.
19th, Jerry Robin 20th, Robbie Wageman 21st, and poor Dylan 22nd.
Dude, he's sick as a dog, apparently.
Handlebars loose.
That's what happened?
Didn't you see him moving them on the
Yeah.
TV?
Oh, I bet that
mean,
bike
they
showed-
literally were doing this, and it wasn't like they were they were loosing the clamps or something.
It's a
Oh.
bummer too, man, because he's been just consistent up
Yeah.
until this point, and now he's.
That bike's going to show up with Rentals next weekend. It ain't going to have
Probably.
ODIs on it.
I'm proud of him though, man. Like he's had some moments, but it's dude, he's kind of turned a corner already this year than where he's been the last couple of years. Like we haven't seen the blistering speed.
Just make it to outdoors.
Yeah, exactly. Just
make
make
it
it outdoors, bro. Just make it outdoors.
So,
Come
all
on.
right. And Kevin Moran's crashed out in free practice yesterday.
How's he doing?
I don't know. I talked to Mom last night because I texted him. He did not text me back. So finally last night I texted his mom. Crashed in free practice, concussion, not as bad as the last time, but he's okay. Mom said. She said it was a real disappointment because, of course, they're all there because it's pretty close to Kansas. So
Is the new KTM not gelling with him either?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It hasn't gone
I
good
haven't
for our
talked
boy.
to him in a couple of weeks here, or a few
I
weeks.
think he's
so
definitely on suicide watch.
Hopefully
It's
this is not a
been-
stress thing, man, because of the team.
I don't
Because
know.
he's been on a. I mean, you know, Kev's our boy, and I love Kevin, but man, he has not looked himself at all this year.
No,
and I know that
it's not been the
I'm
greatest.
telling you, is it the KTM?
We'll talk about it later.
maybe he should be on Honda.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, well, he's got answers. it
Anyway,
sounds
so
like,
that's
but-
been your
Kawasaki.
450 race recap brought to you by Gutterworks. Always well hung, like Cameron Sackadoo. There we are. All right. Okay, now we're going to jump into your complete racing solutions halftime report here.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
like it.
your halftime
It's like
here,
SportsCenter.
your halftime here, which is going to include the non-race recap sections. Like I said, going to be brought to you by Complete Racing Solutions and the Coach Rob Store. And this month we are talking about the Coach Rob Store nutrition bundles, which are basically supplement bundles for all sorts of different things. I didn't write all of them down, but some of them include adrenal support, joint restoration, broken bones bundle, and concussion rehab bundle. Again, all sorts of different supplements. Make sure to check them out, CoachRobStore.com. Link in the description down below there. I actually got to get a hold of him. I need a couple of things, so I got to text him this week about
Yeah,
that.
I need a training program.
Vet Nationals?
Text him.
Doing Vet Nationals?
No.
Oh.
I just want to lose this gut.
I'm sure he
Text
would love
him.
to talk to you.
Why?
I don't know. He likes you.
Oh.
What do you mean, why?
Yeah, I guess he likes me.
What the? Is this kid
Coach
for
is
real?
like one of the nicest guys ever. He likes
Could
all
be.
of us a
God.
lot.
I mean, he likes Travis and me more, but like,
Well,
Yeah.
that answers my suspicion.
I mean, I'm definitely the favorite child,
Yeah, I mean,
second
yeah.
favorite, and you're like, the stepchild that
Well, he
like,
hated me because I had to change a tire on the
Oh
side of the
my
road
God, he
and
didn't
make it
hate
out
you.
the Bucks.
Yeah, well, you weren't on time. And
Time is money.
Coach is a very punctual person. So anyway, your Complete Racing Solutions halftime report here. So
Where do we start?
Where do we start? You guys want to start with our rants?
Sure. Yeah, I got a rant.
I got a rant too.
Okay, cool.
Justin's rare that he has a rant.
Actually,
Let's go
I
first.
have a TLR tinfoil hat here.
Oh.
I actually do.
Are you going with that first, or are we doing the rant?
Yeah, let me do that first before I forget here. So
Oh,
first
boy.
off,
Are we going to be able to contribute
with
or
our
no?
halftime, well, it'll be interesting here.
Okay.
TLR
Yeah,
tinfoil
spitball it
hat.
out.
TLR tinfoil hat thing here.
Okay.
Because I had this wrote down for the 450s, but we didn't talk about it. Okay, so we were talking about Barsha and not being on gas here. Okay, let me tell you my TLR tinfoil hat. What if he goes back to JGR
For Ducati.
for Ducati?
Big money.
He has a relationship with them. Now, here's the thing.
Is that a confirmed thing that JJ is going to come
Well,
back?
so the rumor
They're
I'm
talking to
hearing
him.
is that they have talked to several teams, and there's several teams that are claiming we're it.
Look,
so
just I wanna
no
know who's
one's
running.
sure
They're all
yet.
going to say we're in.
I just want to know who's running it from the JGR
I
side.
don't know. My thing is that I know before JGR was having a hard time with sponsorships, and everybody's like, oh, if JGR can't do it, and this is a Mathis thing, and Mathis is a whole nother topic we could get to. But one of the things I've really disliked about listening to him recently is it's very, we're in our place, we'll never grow, we are what we are, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, bro, with that attitude, yes, we don't, we'll never grow. But anyway, JGR had Yamaha before they were really trying to make a comeback in the sport or do anything. And then they had Suzuki, okay, which we all know the deal with Suzuki.
No, they did. They did Yamaha, Suzuki, back to Yamaha, and
Yeah.
then back to Suzuki.
Yeah. So my thing is, if you bring in Ducati, very high-end brand, obviously there's the infrastructure there, which is why Ducati's talking to them. And then on top of that, you back it with the JGR racing side of things, which will help develop that Ducati bike. I think that makes the most sense. And I also think that opens the door to JGR actually being able to get some of these bigger companies in the door to sponsor the team, hopefully. All hearsay, whatever. But my thought on this, and my brain went here like an hour ago when I was making the show notes, was, okay, obviously, like I said, with Barsha throwing gas under the bus so much here, he's going to be off gas. There's no way they re-sign you when you do stuff, when you say stuff like this and you're not winning. Like if you're Stu and you're winning, you can say that bike's a huge pile of shit because you're still winning and they're still going to re-sign you. Justin Barsha's not that person. So he's going to have to go somewhere else. We sat here and we just talked about, I don't even know where he goes. But he obviously, I have a hard time seeing JGR come back and J-Bone not in charge. Agreed? Anybody got anything about that?
Yeah, I don't know who's next in the pipe.
And
to
then-
manage a team. Me?
Yeah.
Where's my resume?
And then
I'll
they have
send it in.
the new team with Ducati. Yeah, the
I'm
pieces
Italian as well.
pieces are starting to fit together.
I don't know if Barsha fits that mold.
I think he does. He likes that European flair. His
That-
wife's
Yeah, but when I
from
look
over
at
there.
Barsha though, he's got if he's gonna be with Ducati, if he's gonna be representing Ducati, he's gonna have to cut his hair, cut the beard.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
right.
Tone it
I
up.
think they would make him do that. Yeah.
Man, I don't know, dude. Like you've been on this whole Ducati thing, man. We've talked about this, like the brand, like
Yeah.
they're so
They
about.
want Sebastian Tortelli's.
And I look at Barsha, and I don't see this version of Barsha working for Ducati.
Again, this is just a TLR tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
I mean, I just put this together in my brain like an hour ago, but I could see it working.
I also think he's too old.
My other thing is like, okay, we've talked about him maybe getting Kenny, because I think Kenny's on a 1-year deal at this point, or Kenny's year to year essentially with HEP. So okay, that's cool. Now imagine they want to come in and make a splash with a 2-man team. If you have Kenny and Barsha on the team, I mean, those are two big names, because who else are they going to get outside of that?
Well, we've only talked about it. The only other names that exist are Prado and then the Lawrence brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Prado.
And is Prado going to come over and go to a brand new thing in Supercross with a brand new bike?
You pay him a bunch of money. Well,
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
and I could see that
money talks,
too.
bullshit walks.
I'm
But
telling you, Kawasaki's got more money to play
yeah,
with than
but
Gas
actually
does.
too, I don't think they're coming till 26.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah, and Prado's not going to sign a 1-year deal.
no.
AC's out the door. I think Prado's going
Yeah.
in, and I think once Anderson's up, that Degan comes in.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. So yeah, so that's my TLR
Okay.
tinfoil hat here.
What do you guys think?
On Arkham, comment down below with what you guys think of that TLR tinfoil hat. I know you guys like these kind of things, so I will clip this for sure and put it in the show there. Okay, next up, Holster Co. Reload Rant. Make sure to check out Holster Co. for all your things that go bang, bang, pew, pew, holds them, that kind of stuff. Anyway, go ahead. Your rant first.
So I guess because we're going to talk about what this has to do with this person when we get to the 250s, but and I don't know what the solution is. It's just, you guys heard it from me last night. Sometimes I really hate Supercross. Why the fuck do we keep having concrete floors?
I saw something where they could drive the mule around, but why not put dirt or something?
I'm looking. We're going to talk about this when we get to him, but dude, look, I've been in this sport for a very long time. I've seen a lot of bad crashes. I've seen a lot of bad things happen to a lot of people. But last night, when he got ejected, and I'm talking about Austin Faulkner, you guys know this, that was the first time, I think, in a very, very long time where I literally flinched, and I was thinking to myself, holy fuck.
Same.
Like,
I haven't felt that way since watching Kenny's.
I feel that way all the time.
Like,
when people crash
honestly,
in front of me.
I don't get that pit in my stomach feeling anymore. But like when I saw him get ejected, and then especially because of the camera angle, because we couldn't see what happened after, like my stomach, like I thought I was gonna throw up. I was like, oh fuck.
I was like, that's straight to concrete.
Yeah, but the real question is, though, is like, what do you do with it?
And that's what I mean. I don't know what the solution is. I'm just
a layer of dirt.
I'm just ranting.
So I thought about this too. I mean, we all watched it. We all were horrified by seeing it, even as dirt bike people. And my mind went to, okay, what would you cover it with?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're gonna cover it with, say, like gym mats or something. Okay, what is it like riding a dirt bike on that? I don't know.
Yeah.
So then, is that
I
how
hate to
dangerous
say-
is that? I mean,
Like I said,
they can't drive the medic mule over
No.
some gym mats.
No.
Like I said, I know that there's that I don't have a solution, so I know that this is not really a good rant. I don't have a solution. It's just something that I have to say.
yeah.
And we've seen it, Coop, same thing, same building.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those shitty things of like a potential downfall.
God,
Yeah.
dude,
It
it's just
is
I mean,
what it is.
my thing is like, was he wearing front and back protection under the jersey?
if he's like most people, probably not.
So
I think he
But I think he does
but
wear-
it's not anything.
Yeah.
It's some bullshit roost
the
deflection.
other thing is too is I've heard that Alpine Stars is really working on one of those airbag inflation systems for dirt bike riders.
I mean, we have them in the helmets now, so it's
yeah,
like,
well, and they have them on MotoGP for those guys and stuff. But I've heard that one of the holdups is because of the G's that we're pushing as dirt bike riders, whether
It'll
we're
blow going
old
through
guys
it.
like us, that they don't want that to happen. But I've heard they're making strides in it, and they're testing and testing and testing, and they want to put one out. So
God, I don't want to be a test rider. You're just going through a rhythm section. You got your airbag blowing off. You know what I'm saying?
be a real funny
imagine?
scenario though when you see him just go like this.
yeah.
But no, man, when I watched that, I'm like, that was just,
Yeah.
oh, dude, my stomach just dropped.
I'm with you. We need to cover it with something. What
just don't
that
know what.
is, I don't have any clue.
I don't think there really is.
There's not. There
it.
probably
Yeah.
is not. It's just one of those things that I have to say it. I'm just,
There probably is. We just don't know about it. So okay.
Well, our sanctioning body probably wouldn't want to spend the money on it either.
That could be a thing too.
because when I saw his neck fold when we got the other shot,
yeah.
I just looked at it because
Well, the second thing too that we could bitch about is let's watch the first couple practices. Nobody's going on off, right? Mm-hmm. Take the fucking knuckle off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that landing, I'm sick because we saw the same thing in Detroit. Like, I'm sick and tired of these offs going into a rhythm that you're going 3 in. Why do we keep dropping them off? Like, we need to layer them forward at the bottom
Yeah.
of the backside. Like, we
Yeah,
need to stop
I
doing
think-
this where to hit it perfect, you need to literally dip the front end because nobody's going to do that. I mean, how many times in that 450 main did Eli just get to the point, I'm not going to downside this thing, so I'm literally just going to land in the fucking pocket of the face, and I'm just going
Well,
to...
it was just like just watch the practice. I only seen one guy go like on off, and it was because Tomac like had a shitty rhythm and he made it work.
Yeah.
But the knuckle was there so people could go on and off. If you're looking and seeing the fast lines going over, let's just shave that thing down a little bit. We were only getting 9 whoops, so let's
Yeah.
take the knuckles off.
That's the ironic part is like we take Dragon's backs out, we
Yeah.
go down to 9 whoops.
But we do
and
this
then,
shit.
And then this what do they call it? Stairs or
It's like a staircase section.
no, they call it something else.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot more of them lately.
But they do that and they're like, oh, this is safer because that's the first rhythm you come into. Like if you notice, it's out of the first corner out of every track, right? And then it's like, yeah, but I noticed it in Detroit. I'm sure you did too in practice. It's like the timing on it is fucking weird every single round. Kev talked about it in one of his vlogs or something about like they put one in his track when they built it this year and he took it out.
The only time that would ever work is if the face before, like you had a nice size face where people were actually doubling up and on consistently. But because that's such a short and it's even though you're stepping up and over, like everybody could get over it cleanly. Like even the slow guys were getting over it.
Yeah.
Now it was sketchy, but like when I look at that, I go, yeah, that'd have been a section back in 2009 where you would have had like a 6 foot face, like 10 back, and they were just going to step all the way on it and then go off of it.
Yeah, I think it was just the speed coming into that wasn't enough pop to get over it.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, how many times same thing in the main too with AP? Like AP got loose. He's like, I can't time this thing perfect, so I'm just going to jump into the face of the going 3 afterwards. Like, I'll preload the shit out of the front end and I'll deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
That, and I mean, Hardy almost died off it too.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
Okay, what's your rant?
My rant also is Austin Forkner involved.
Oh boy.
All you dipshits in the Instagram comments telling him to retire and that he fucking sucks and that, oh my God, you need to retire. You can never get through a season. You fucking suck. Why do you have a ride? Blah, blah, blah.
He doesn't suck, but for his own health, like somebody commented that, and I was like, it might be time to look at like free riding and stuff for fun.
Oh man, but
Outdoors only.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, but fucking chill down in the comments.
I know.
This is the toxic side of our industry, man. These
Yeah.
are, we all know those are the fucking goonheads that don't know shit about shit.
100%.
And they just don't like them. And I definitely agree. Like it's annoying because, and we've talked about this, people that are not in the industry or not around this shit, like people like us, you know, so on. I'll go through all the names.
Yeah.
Those are the people. Those are the casual fans. Those are the fans that forget that these guys are real human beings, and they look at it. And we talk about this, especially with me, because I like Formula One so much. Dude, the hate that those guys get too, it's because the average fan forgets that these are real human beings and they just see them, but it doesn't give you the right to be a jackass and go, oh, you suck, like this and that.
I also think it's a maturity thing too. Like you're just immature if you can't respect a man that has gone through hell and back, can still come back and perform, and has something shitty happen to him. Maybe think about all the bullshit that guy's been through and respect him.
And dude, you could tell, like,
I don't know,
how much it eats away at him every time this happens, man.
Dude, it's bad.
Like,
And
look what it's done to AC.
yeah, and
When he was crying, like when they were hauling him off and they had him in the seat collar and he
That
was
wasn't
crying,
pain cry.
like when he
No.
was crying, I'm just looking at him and I'm going, oh, dude.
Yeah, that wasn't pain. That was. Oh,
And it's because, dude, Austin has matured. He's matured. He's not the
Into a
same
likable guy.
He's not the same shithead in 2018 that, like, when he was racing Zacho, that he was
Yeah.
making dumb comments all the time, and you're like, dude, what is your problem?
Yeah.
He's matured. He's 25 years old. He's married now. Like, he's just, oh man, dude, I'm just over it.
smoking out wife.
You know
I'm
what?
just heartbroken for the
You know,
kid.
you know what? A lot of those fans do, and this is, I'm being honest, they're probably all Hayden Degan fans.
Well, that could be a thing. So, all right. Good rants, boys. Good rants. All right, my Holsterco reload rants here. Number 1, and we talk about the toxic people in our sport here. All of these fucking morons
Oh God.
in these groups that comment about the Lawrence fan zone and how it's a ripoff and all of this crap like that. Oh, I mean, just degrading the Lawrence brothers and all this shit. Fuck off. Bro, dude. I mean, there is endless things. It's $2,000. That's ridiculous. First off, the Star Racing one is also $2,000. I believe the gas one is that too, or $1,500 or something. Here's the thing. They don't set the price. Feld does, you retards.
I wouldn't have said that word. But
Like, Feld
might have to snippy snip
set
that one.
the price of these. It's not them. They get a small cut of it, and then Feld takes the rest, okay? It's not the Lawrence brothers setting it, number 1. Number 2,
go to any other
go
sporting
to
event.
any other sport.
I was just about to say this. Like,
How much do fucking floor seats cost in an NBA game?
Well, if we just want to stay on the same train of thought,
Yeah, what's a
of
VIP
motorsports,
for Formula One?
10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
10 to 15 grand.
How about
That's for
NASCAR?
And
that's
you-
for Williams. That's for like Williams and Haas.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
if Red Bull did one, it's like 35.
And are,
Give me
and,
NASCAR.
and are those guys sitting
No.
with you for multiple hours at
No.
a time to sign everybody who's in there's autograph and take a picture
when they did the
and chat with you? No.
When they did the Williams one in Florida, and it was a big one because it was Logan Sargent, like his rookie, and he's from Florida. Like, him and Alex Albon weren't even at they weren't there. You know why?
Dude.
Because they were getting ready to fucking race their cars the next day.
I've watched this. I've watched the Formula One stuff. Yeah. Do you know what happens with those guys? They come in, They go, hey, you get a picture with them. They sign maybe like the shirt you got, and they walk away from you.
They give you
do not stand there and talk to you.
They give you like their third tier designated PR person, and that person takes you around. Don't get me wrong, cool as shit. And one day I would like to do it if I had the extra 10 grand laying around, but it's not the same thing. Like, you're not going to be, and the same thing, like the NFL stuff, any of that, you're not going to be up there and actually talk to people.
Yeah.
You're not meeting Tom Brady on game day.
I'm not Jet and Hunter Lawrence Homer, but like
I'm just so sick of it because it's uneducated morons that are making these comments about it, and it's like, dude, I don't think you understand. They don't have any control over the cost of it. Okay, it is a full blown Feld thing, and $2,000 is what it. Dude, it cost $2,000 back in the day to do the Rocky Mountain one.
Well, and a lot of it is too, and we especially see it in Supercross because we know that the biggest demographic at a lot of these ones are just regular people taking their family, like trying to get them into sport, or hey, this is in my hometown, or city or whatever. And I get it, we need to grow, but I just have to say to that, the people that are bitching and complaining, well, I spent all this money, and actually, I could have had another rant. I'll go after your next one because we're on this about something that happened.
Or just ranting.
Something that happened.
Let me get my thought off my chest real quick though. The morons that are commenting, hating on it, are the same morons that are saying we need to grow the sport and figure out how. This right here is something that is going to try to grow the sport.
No. They're the ones who are also saying they're the Mathis crew. We're not going to grow. We are what we are. Blah blah blah.
I just look at it.
I don't know.
I just look at it and I go, dude, if you're bitching about $2,000 for a fan experience, you probably shouldn't be even thinking about spending the money on the fan experience.
To go to the fan experience.
Here's the thing.
Like, what the fuck is
Guess
wrong with
what? They don't have a problem selling them. Is that turned off?
Oh, damn.
God, I hope not.
I wonder how long.
I'm getting all fired up.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got audio though.
Audio show only this week, I guess.
When did that shut off?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to put picture of McAdoo for the rest of the show.
Screw it. So anyway, yeah. So as far as that, yeah, I don't know, man. It just, and I've read through, because to argue with you about that point, I've read through these comments, and yeah, they're the same guys who say like, oh, this isn't gonna grow the sport, whatever. Guess what? They sell the shit out of those. Every single week they're sold out. The Star one's full too.
People want to hang out with Jimmy D.
I've talked to some people who have done it or know people that have done that one, and they say Jimmy D is super cool.
Fuck yeah, I'd want that guy as the one who's running it.
Jimmy D bends some rules about things that
he's fucking Jimmy
probably
D.
shouldn't, but it's awesome. So,
by the way, I still don't understand how he even got hooked up with that gig.
No
like,
idea.
That makes no
Don't
sense
care.
to me. It's awesome though.
Love it.
Out of left field. Put him on a bike for one round though.
Maybe.
Oh, dude, he'd still make a man, guarantee.
I want to see him race Unadilla on a star bike.
Okay. My next rant here. This is my last one.
Jeez Louise.
I said I had two.
I got another one too, since we're on that train of thought.
These mid-season format changes.
Yeah.
The 450's going first.
Okay, that's yours?
No.
I got zero issue with it, okay? I'm fine.
Yeah, why are we doing it in the middle of the season?
We start, we whatever. But this stuff where they changed it there because we were on whatever it was, NBC.
For Detroit.
Yeah. Do you know how amateur hour that makes us look? And then it's just like, oh, we're going to keep doing it, but we're not sure how long. What?
Yeah, it's just like they keep doing it. I thought it was a one-round thing.
It was originally supposed to, and then I think they realized that, oh, it's kind of cool to have like the stars of the sport being the first ones of the night.
Yeah, but then I had some guy the other day was arguing with me in the comments about, well, it's kind of lame because the stars come out first. And then the 250. It's way better when it builds. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's way better to do opening ceremonies, see these see the stars of the sport, and then you get to see the stars of the sport. Like, the hard thing is that because of the way our sport is or whatever, we have another class and then the premier class also in the same day. Like, you go to like NASCAR, you don't get that because you just have the Cup Series on Sunday and the Xfinity Series is on Saturday or whatever. Where with us, it's like, well, we're all on the same day, so like we can't, like, dividing it up is tricky. I like this format better, and I know it kind of sucks for 250 LCQ things because they race the LCQ and they got like 10 minutes and then they're racing the mains. I've heard that explained. And the thought process is with the teams, okay, if a 250 factory guy wads his shit in his heat race and they only have 10 minutes to turn a bike around to get to the LCQ and he misses it because of that and misses the main. Where, like, if he wads his shit in the LCQ he's not making the main anyway, so it doesn't matter. So
Makes you wonder if they'll do it full time for outdoors.
As far as I'm concerned, I think this is best. Oh, 450s go first?
I mean, we do it every now and then. We're on NBC at the 3:00 slot, but like it makes me wonder if like they're going to look at it since they're a Unity now. That if they look at it and they go, oh, we'll just run the 450s first.
I've heard behind the scenes it's not all Unity. It was
it
was very unified last year, but by the time we got to the end of last year, the Unity was starting to wear off, and I've heard the Unity's really wore off now. So
it kind of
see.
It kind of makes me hope that they do it though.
I don't know, though, because in the times that we've been, because Redbud usually is on NBC or USA or whatever, in the times that we've been, it makes the day almost anticlimactic to me watching the 250s go second.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
To me, I think the track's more dangerous for the younger guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Everybody just wants to see them send it after you just rip the shit out of everything.
So, those have been my reload rants.
So,
you have one more?
I only have one, and it'll be quick. So, we all saw it. Arlington was packed yesterday. Packed. Like, I think they sold out. Apparently, some
Upper
people...
Bowl wasn't sold out, though.
Okay,
But
well,
sold out
close.
tickets allocated, right?
Yeah.
So, apparently, because of how busy it was, there were certain families that during the middle of the day, and for anybody that's never been to a Supercross, like, it's a free-for-all. Like, you can sit wherever you want. You know, if you can sit in industry seating during time practice, you can literally sit anywhere for wherever the stadium is sectioned off. Apparently, last night, yesterday, whatever, we know AT&T Stadium is huge. Half the stadium was sectioned off. You couldn't get in there. Well, they were so packed that there were people that were going to go sit in their seats.
And they kick them out.
And, well, they went to go sit in their seats, and there was somebody there, and apparently these people that, you know, the husband, father, whatever, been around for a long time, realized, hey, cool, I don't have to sit in my seats. Like, I can go sit wherever. Problem is that they were so packed that nobody had anywhere to sit. So they're like standing up on the side of the aisles, and we know how much the Nazis are that fucking run up and down those aisles that take their jobs too serious. They were bitching at him, well, you can't just stand here, like you have to go somewhere. And they look at him and go, well, where am I going to go? Mm-hmm. Like, you have half the stadium sectioned off. There are people in my seat. I don't have a problem with this. I don't fucking have anywhere else to sit. They told him, well, you can't be down here for practice. You got to go up top, and you got to watch from up there. Apparently, there were a lot of people that couldn't watch practice yesterday because they were so packed they didn't get there early enough, and then they wouldn't open the other
side of the stadium.
Side of the
they
stadium.
do that in Detroit all the time.
Yeah.
Nazis.
And I'm just like, we keep talking about how you talk about amateur hour. Really?
Who? That's up to the sanctioning. That'd be up to Feld going down to the stadium staff and being like, "Hey, open this up," or how does that?
I think that's
work?
I think that's a stadium operations thing.
Like,
and
if you are that packed,
that's poor management on the stadium side there, because
can't there be a conversation had with maybe Feld or whoever's running the event to coordinate with the stadium staff and be like, hey, we need to...
Yeah, there could be, but I think on race day, Feld's probably paying attention. This is me defending Feld, everyone. I think Feld's probably paying attention to more urgent things than the fact that, the stand, like, they're probably looking at the stands going, wow, this is great, it's full.
Yeah.
Not necessarily paying attention to, it's so full, we should open more.
Right.
And like I said, I think that is a stadium's operation. I don't know that Feld rents the stadium, but I don't know that they're in charge of stadium operations like that.
And I know it's very rare that we get that busy for practice.
Yeah. I don't know, though. Detroit was pretty busy.
Yep. And like I said, very rare, but it definitely happens. But when I heard that there were people that were having problems, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's a thing, man. I don't know. It's interesting. And I don't know what the answer is to it either, because, man, that's a lot of staff if you open up that whole lower bowl, man. That's a lot of staff.
I just feel bad for
people
the family.
don't show up.
I just feel bad for the family that doesn't go to races that often, and then the one time
That's
they
our
go,
experience.
Yeah.
it's like for people like us, like, dude, we could just walk up top and we'll be like, we'll just watch from up here.
Yeah.
But for there, you have a whole ass family. You got kids there. You don't want to do that. They want to sit in the stadium, and now they just can't. And it's like, what the fuck? So, whatever.
I don't know. So, all right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. That's been your Holster Co. Reload Rants, and that has been your Complete Racing Solutions Coach Rob Store halftime. I keep looking at the camera, and the camera's not going. It's classy. It's a classy move. Tell you what, man. It's very much, I just want to get on and buy a new camera that runs forever.
What are you getting?
Something high end.
A red?
No, we're not going that high end. No, we're not paying $10,000 for the camera body, but something. I don't know. I've thought about.
What about that thing? What's wrong with that one?
It will only record 30 minutes at a time
Why?
because that's what Canons are set up for. Canon DSLRs will not record more than about 30 minutes
What about
at a time.
Sony?
Sony's are supposed to be set up better, but I've been trying to do some research on which ones won't overheat because that's a problem you run into with
I
some
could
of
get you a
them.
deal on a camcorder.
Well, if we have a camcorder, that
A
might help.
Canon XA30.
That one that you used before.
I use it for a little bit for something.
Yeah.
That guy uses it for hunts.
Yeah.
So when you're in the hunting blind, that's more than 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah, and that's something I've looked at too. Is getting a high end camcorder also.
Well, some techie guy, please comment below.
Yeah.
Let us know what to do.
Yeah, well, I mean I've studied this a lot. Supposedly the Sony FX3, I believe is what it is. But again, you're looking at $3,500, $4,000 for it.
Bring
which
a
is
sponsor on
lot.
board that would pay for the camera.
Which is a lot. So I'll tell you what I have thought about doing in the most shitball way here is buying the camera from Amazon, testing it for like a show or two, and then sending it back.
I was going to do that with the gear bag I just bought.
I really have thought about doing that just to kind of run through some of them and see which one we like the best. But
We should just go to the local camera store and be like, hey, what would you guys do to sponsor this?
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've
Or
thought
just
about
let us rent a camera.
I thought about renting them before. You can rent them for not a ton of money. The problem is I would have to line it up so I could rent stuff,
You'd have to do that.
every single week,
Oh, fuck that.
which would be a trick. And then the thing is too is like
Then you
you'd
got
have
to
to
drive
rent.
there and get the shit.
Well, you got to rent it. Not even renting it from that. You can. There's websites that do it,
Oh.
and I've thought about doing it. But the problem too is like, okay, if you rent, say, a DSLR, you got to have one of the battery things that plugs in for it to be able to continuously run. Okay, well that's fine because all the Canons are mostly the same. But then if you switch to a Sony, that's different. If you switch to something else, that's different. So it's like, oh, that creates a whole nother situation there of having because you can't rent. Well, you might be able to rent that piece, but it's like, okay, now I got to remember to put that in the cart too. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff to it. I'm probably going to get something because I don't know why this is happening. It's got to be a software issue at this point because there's one of the other ones also is having that issue.
Update the software, Squid.
Everyone gives me credit for being way more tech savvy than I am. Ashley's the same way. She tells me things all the time about the business or what that should be automated. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand. I'm not that tech savvy, okay?
Oh,
Like-
I know.
Like
know.
I am very.
I've seen some of your captions.
They're really good. Hey,
Can
look.
we get into this 250
Hey man,
shit?
anytime you want to do as many posts a day as me per week, I would love to see how
I'd
many
probably run it.
captions
I'd
you
run it
screw
through.
up.
I'd run it through Grammarly.
That is a whole nother step then, okay?
Grammarly.
I don't think you understand. It is a 30 to
I get it.
45
It's a
minute
grind,
process
dude. It's a
to
grind.
post everywhere I post.
It's a grind. It's a
every
grind.
single time, 3 times a day.
Oh, I know. I've got video be popping off this week,
It's
and I had to
rough.
post it on all the different platforms.
This guy's got has one account over 3 things. I've got 4 YouTube channels,
What?
3 Instagrams,
What
2
3 Instagrams?
2 TikToks, 2 Facebooks. Yeah, I think that's it.
Need an intern.
All right.
I do. If anybody wants to come work for free, as
Go
my
over to
social
Western,
media
dude.
guy, I've
Go over to
got
Western. You'd find somebody.
probably. Okay.
Pay 'em in beer
So,
money. Pay them in beer money.
yeah, I mean,
Buy them a fifth of Burnett.
Buy him some Natty Daddy.
natty daddies. All right,
4 Locos.
250 race recap. Brought to you by our newest sponsor, 50 Grafx, for all your custom graphics. Local Michigan companies. So if you guys are in Michigan or the surrounding states, make sure to look them up. Little mom and pop shop. Again, 50 Grafx. Link in the description down below. And I will try to remember to put in the discount code this week. I believe we're 10 or 15% off for you guys. I have not put that in yet. That's my bad. But they are on board with us. I've got the graphics kit over there. I've got a couple pieces on already that we were testing out. And I've got to put the rest of it on here so I can go ride this week. Well, he did the ghost ride.
Oh,
What?
that ghost ride was pitiful.
Okay. First
That
off,
was a pussy ass ghost ride.
first off,
You're
everybody's like, yeah, I don't blame you for not ghost riding the finish line. The finish line is way bigger than they used to be back in the day.
I don't know. That one Brian did it on was pretty big.
There were multiple people that said that the ones nowadays are way bigger than the 90s.
However, if he would have done it on this one, there probably would have been repercussions.
Yes, let's put it this way. I don't think it could have gone any more perfect than what he did. I think what he did was absolutely perfect.
It still will never be as cool as Brian's.
No, but you know what? There's still I got pictures of him ghost riding it. It was a thumbnail for last night's reaction video. I'm totally okay with it. Well, now he's got to win. Okay.
I got something you might like.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I was at a dealer visit.
Okay.
And this guy hands me a number plate.
All right.
And it's a purple SMX World Champion championship plate that they were handing out at a dealer show.
Cool.
Signed by Hayden Degan.
Did you bring it in and so we can hang it up or?
No.
Oh. Because, I mean, you could loan it.
I could loan it, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, it'll just be here whenever you need it. You can just take it with
sweet
you.
Anderson jersey. I finally got an Anderson jersey.
Nice. I don't like the jersey things, man. I see the podcast with them hanging everywhere. I don't like it. It's not my thing.
Gotta be
I like the number plates. It keeps it way more clean. But
yeah, I guess I could donate it for
like I said, you can have it back whenever you want. I don't really care. It'd just be cool to add to the collection for on the camera.
I'll catch you doing some weird stuff to it.
Absolutely not.
Like, you know that episode of Blue Mountain State?
Oh, my God, we're not going there.
You know Blue Mountain State where the mascot gets caught in the trophy room?
Yes. Yes.
That's where we're going.
No.
Okay.
But, okay, so Degan gets the win. He's like 5th in points now. He was super solid all day, even though his wrist was completely fucked in the offseason, and we couldn't admit it.
Also, interesting you say that. There's a gentleman on Twitter that somehow got to sit next to Bobby Reagan all night at the race. And
That's awesome.
And Bobby Reagan remember who he was?
Well, Bobby also said, yeah, Degan broke his wrist 5 weeks ago.
That basically makes my point that Bobby just forgets who he's talking to.
Don't worry, because after the live show, and shout out to all of you. I keep looking at the camera like it's on. Damn it. Shout out to all of you guys who tune into the live show. I got multiple DMs with pictures of his wrist where you can see the scar.
Well, he had it on both sides, and I think that was arm pump surgery.
Well, maybe.
Because the scar was on this side, and then I was looking at his other one. Their same exact scar was on this side.
Then somebody else DM'd me and was like, dude, I've seen the x-ray with the plates and the screws in there. And I'm like, where did you see that? And they're like, I'm pretty sure he put it on Snapchat or something. But he's like, I've seen it. So I just don't. And again, everybody was flaming me after I was complaining in the live show yesterday about coming out about it. I just don't understand why we can't just be like, yeah, dude, I broke the shit out of my wrist. Like,
well, now I don't know. I think it's them being their marketing machine where it's just like, everybody's soft. I'm built different.
And here's what triggered it yesterday with me. In the qualifying, that girl interviewed him, and he was basically like, yeah, if anybody's wrist was in the shape mine's in, like, they wouldn't even ride, a normal person, but I got a title to win.
Yeah.
And I went, wait, what?
Well, like flipping the script.
I was going to say, a week or 2 weeks ago, when your series premiered, you were, oh, it's fine. We took like a week off, little wrist injury, sprained it, no problem. Now it's like, nah, bro, you got plates and screws in there. Like, your wrist got fucked. And I don't know where you broke it or what you broke it on, but 5 weeks ago, apparently, you broke the shit out of it.
Glad everything we said for weeks on end.
Hang on, I'm going to see if I can find that.
That he broke his wrist. That, he actually broke his wrist. So
yeah, cool. Well, and this is something I ran about in the live show yesterday too. We're morons, except for everything. There are people I talk to all the time, and I'm like, you know what? Everything we say about him, we're idiots. And then a week later,
turns out to be true.
His camp says the same thing.
Yeah.
Literally, him or his dad come out and say the same thing. So we're idiots.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, go ahead.
So things I learned sitting next to Bobby Reagan.
This is going to be good, I can tell.
Degan broke his wrist 5 weeks ago. Plessinger is his best friend, and he cheered more for him winning than his own riders.
We can confirm that's true.
Can confirm.
Bennick was going to get fussed at for not pushing harder in the LCQ.
Doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
He's planting corn next week. Him and his wife have been married 50 years.
Bobby's planting corn next week?
Yep.
Bobby doesn't remember his own name.
No.
They are from...
Oh, I was about to say, Bobby sure as shit's not.
They are from New Orleans. They still own a car dealership. They love karaoke. He said, come see him at the next race, and they'll get the whole team tour.
He's not going to remember that guy.
Not at all. But that's awesome.
He's not going to remember that guy. I think he forgets who Jensen Hendler is half the time.
This is epic. How did you end up sitting next to him? The team owners and shit apparently don't get seats. Wow.
Yeah, it's called industry seating. You don't get an assigned seat. There's a section you're supposed to sit in, and then the owners just go sit wherever because, let's be honest, who's going to tell him he can't sit there?
Right, don't get seats, so they just walk around until they find open seats, and we had 2 extra ones next to us that weren't being used. And he stumbled upon us and asked if they were available.
Probably literally stumbled.
Probably. He can't remember. He doesn't know how to walk anymore.
Wow, you guys are assholes.
No, it's true. Never
Dude,
mind.
I mean, he's just an older gentleman, okay?
He's got
It's
issues,
fine.
man. He's got issues.
It's fine. Like, we saw this firsthand in Chicago.
We
With
did.
the moped?
Yeah, with the moped and
Hey,
everything.
Jensen, I know that you're my 250 team manager, but go get that fucking moped.
Bring me a bike and go get that moped.
Yeah, go get that moped.
Yeah, so anyway, one other thing I did have about Degan. He rode great. He looked good yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
We kind of talked about this in the group chat last night. In my opinion, the title is now coming down to him and Anstie, but
I mean, that's also debatable,
I
but
don't know. I think Mr. Hang Dang might be in there.
no way. Same situation as Forkner. And again, I told you guys about this in the group chat last night. Dude, the other shoe just drops on these guys. RJ, Smith, Hampshire, Hamaker, McAdoo, Forkner, all of them. Like, it's terrible to say, but the other shoe just drops on them, and something happens that costs them the title. They're fast dudes. They'll win races. They're going to have great racing careers if they can get out of it, being able to still walk. But that's just the way it works. We're like, Degan, yeah, he's had a couple small injuries here, whatever. A couple things not go quite his way, but for the most part, it's looking pretty good. So, and like Anstie's just got that VRM, so we'll get to him. But
I still think a lot of this 250 title is up in the air, to be honest with you. I
think this one's still up in the air.
I still think it's up in the air. I mean, with Fortner going out the way he did, and obviously he's not coming back, it was definitely his title to lose, and then he lost it.
Yeah, it's his to lose, and there it went.
And Degan would definitely obviously be the favorite because he was the favorite for a lot of people had he been healthy and not broke his wrist. But, I mean, dude, if that wrist is still that bad, and clearly, like, he was marking Fortner and Cole agrees with, we both have the same train of thought, that Fortner was managing that lead.
Yeah, Fortner greased the whoops and pulled back out.
Yeah, because I even went back and looked at the lap times. Like, the lap times even show it, that they were yo-yoing, and then when Fortner got the whoops figured out, he dropped back down to the 46s, and Degan was still in the 47s, and then obviously he crashed. But, like, I believe if Degan last night gets a 6th-place start, Degan doesn't work his way towards the front.
I think he gets to at least
I
third.
think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. The only reason I say that is because I still believe that McAdoo might be faster than all of them.
Well, probably, but he can't stay off the ground.
But he hasn't. But that's the thing, though, is through the 2 rounds, he hasn't crashed on because of him doing something stupid.
Well, no shit. He was laying in the first turn, the first one, and his bike was all bent up, and his balls were dragging on the seat the whole race. Of course, he didn't crash the first one. I wouldn't want to crash with my balls hanging out either.
The only thing Degan has is he needs to watch, like that pass that he tried.
Bro, I have that in my notes here. I was just about to.
I like how Austin just kind of like just didn't even think about it. He shook it off, kept moving forward, and he's
that
like
D-gaff T-bone move there.
Yeah, but
that
what
I
I'm
was
saying
like,
is if danger zone.
Yeah, you can't do that to everybody.
You can't do that to everybody coming through the pack, and he's going to try to be whipping his pee-pee out like that.
Yeah,
I don't think it hangs as low as McAdoo.
No, McAdoo will hit him over the head with that
Oh
thing.
my god. No, man, I still believe Degan is obviously one of them. He's one of the favorites, but the problem is I still think there's a bunch of favorites. Like, I don't.
Hamaker could warm up and get a win.
Yeah, we'll talk about Vial. Like I said, Anstie had a bad start, worked his way through, got 6th.
Red plate.
So it's like I wish.
That's why I said it comes down to
I
Anstie
wish.
or Degan.
See, and I don't believe that. I wish I would have that much conviction like you do that you think it's going to be either one of them. Because honestly, I can't answer the question that
I can't answer it yet.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Can you answer for any of the 3 classes?
The 450 class, Jets firmly in the title hunt, right, or firmly in control. Eli wins at Daytona, then I think the momentum shifts. And as far as West goes, it's down to RJ and Smitty. But East and Kitchen. But East, I don't know of any of them. Because any of them could win at any given moment. Like Hamaker gets a start. He's got the speed. He could pull away.
I mean, I'm not saying they all can't win. I'm literally talking title consistency
and
here.
I'm
going with Degan or Anstie.
And last year, Degan's rookie year,
That
he
was
was
also
consistent as shit.
That was also his rookie year, though. This is not his rookie year anymore. And the year's already started off not as good as last year did.
But that was that first turn crash that wasn't his fault.
That was, as Ricky would say, a quagmire.
Look, here's the thing. If he doesn't get in that first turn crash last week, he's probably top 5. or 2 weeks ago, whatever the fuck it was. He's probably top 5.
I agree.
And then this title looks way different. Then he's points leader right now.
Fortner didn't die last night, too.
If Fortner didn't die last night,
But
Fortner was 70 points
I'm
later.
just saying, if last night happens the way it happened, and you go back 3 weeks ago, and you don't have that big first turn thing, I still think he's theoretically. I think he's top 5. I'm not saying he wins. I'm not saying he's podium. I'm saying he's top 5 in Detroit, and now all of a sudden he's got a 5th and a 1st, and he's leading these points basically.
I got to get through. I got to get through 2 more rounds before I can give you an answer of who I believe.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Look,
because we still. What's going to happen to the Triple Crown?
I mean, I'm just stamping it right now. You've got Degan or Anstey. Levi's going to win the West Coast, and you've got either Webb, Tomac, or Jet wins the 450. Stamp it.
No,
that's good.
That's where I'm at
I'm just
right
not as
now with
confident
what
on
I've
this
seen.
coast.
There's
Too many
just
guys can win.
there aren't any of these other guys that I look at and say they're going to rattle off 4 wins and be on the box the rest of the time. There's just no way. Degan, I think, is going to win 2 or 3 more probably.
Maybe.
And then he's going to be consistently in either the top 5, if not the podium, the rest of the
He
time.
also could get stacked up in a first turn pileup at Daytona and get 12th.
Okay, barring
I
27 first turn crashes here for the rest of the year.
I'm not that as confident as you are in this coast. There's two. Unlike the West, there's a bunch of dudes on this coast that if they're feeling it that night, they could win. The West, we kind of have a good idea of who are the guys that could win. East,
yeah.
So let's go.
And that's not what I'm arguing here, that the guys can't win, because when you say McAdoo's probably the fastest guy, probably as of right now, yeah, he probably is the fastest guy here. Vial,
we'll talk about him.
I don't know what the situation is with him, and as far as
Somebody
winning,
said he weeded his shit.
He weeded hard.
in practice.
Yeah,
he was hauled off. You've got Hammaker. Yeah, he's fast enough to win too. You've got Pierce Brown. He probably could put one together, but he hasn't yet.
He was
but
down in the brown again.
Yep, he was, but he could. And then you've got Anstey. And Anstey is the other. Like I said, when it comes down to championship talk, it's all about consistency in my book, which we all know that's the case. And those are the two that are
Anstey's
consistent
getting the
here.
Tim Ferry title. God, I would love that.
I mean, maybe
he's gonna win Daytona.
I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna win Daytona.
No, Degan's gonna win Daytona.
I don't think so.
Last thing about Degan before we move on.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the interview?
I don't like it.
Dude, I'm fine. I actually,
I don't like it.
I'm still not a full blown Degan fan, but man, the attitude and stuff that's coming out here, I
don't like it.
That's my style.
I don't like it
here's
because
my
of what
theory.
happened.
Swing that thing around, man.
Like Ricky or James always would say, hey, I hate to win them this way, blah, blah, blah. But I guess I could have used this for my TLR tinfoil, but I think it's part of that media game that you talk about. You listen to like a Racer X interview or something that's more the core fans, it's a lot more humble. Now, he's on that broadcast for all the little Tom, Dick, and Larrys that are part of his YouTube deal.
All the Deganites the bedbugs, as Weech calls them, that come out of the comments at us.
They're all watching the broadcast for sure. So they're going to hear that. He's going to cater to that crowd. He probably got the analytics to even know.
Yeah.
He can look at the analytics, I'm sure. So he, is the cocky dickhead that...
Is he really like that on all of his videos?
What?
The cocky dickhead switches it off.
I don't watch many of his videos.
I don't know, but it'd be very, very...
Because I've always heard he brings up the whole Christian thing in his videos, like him being a Christian of faith and all that.
Yeah, he does talk about going to church and everything a lot.
Brian does the same thing, but can you imagine if they really sat down and nitpicked the media game that much? We're like, hey, we're going to do interviews like this to this crowd, and we're going to do these kind of interviews to this crowd?
I have a hard time believing they don't. I sit here and think about this crowd.
Okay.
Why do you think we have the Isaac Nelson Designs Degan Danger Zone?
I would have had no problem with that interview up until the moment he had to bring in the fact of, well, yeah, I went back and watched the heat race, and I saw Austin was making a bunch of, mistakes, and I knew I could capitalize it. And then the Degan Danger Zone. If he'd have just stopped with, I don't want to win it that way, I'm bummed for Austin, I hope he's okay, and then stopped the interview, I'd have been cool with it. But even though I know it was not his intention, you got a kid over there that has been through more shit than you could imagine. And this is Degan, and anybody in the class. Fortner's been through more shit than anybody in that class could imagine. The highs and lows of that kid's career, there's nobody, even McAdoo with all the shit he's been through, it does not top Fortner.
No.
I think he's got AC beat at this point.
I think he does. I think you're right. I think they were neck and neck last night. Put him over the top. Not
Yeah.
really a distinction you want. You got a kid over there that title hop gone, shot. Lucky he doesn't have a fucking broken neck. Lucky he's alive at this point with the way he folded his
Yeah.
body. I know this was not his intention, and I know that the kid's young, and I'm not blaming him any so bit that he was thinking about this, but you didn't need to go. It's kind of like jam it in there.
Yeah.
If you'd have just stopped with, I hope Austin's okay, that was a bad crash, but you went over the top, and then I'm like, that was too much for me.
How was the press conference? I haven't watched it.
It was okay. I was kind of half paying attention because I was editing the video at that point too. Like I said, my ears really perked up when he said the danger zone, which, by the way, this video is going to be titled, "He Stole the Danger Zone from Me."
Oh, jeez.
Degan Danger Zone. Because that ought to bring 100,000 views.
No, you could put, I know what the caption should be.
All right, let's hear it.
Did we originate the Degan Danger Zone?
I don't know. It might be too long. I think it'd be better if I say he stole Degan Danger Zone from us. I think it'll be better. I mean, honestly, I think it'll bring more views. Which again, to go back to your point of, do they think about this? If we're talking about this for our channel, do you think there's any way they don't?
Yeah, I think that kid's his entire career is mapped out 10 years from now.
I mean, they're smart enough to study those guys he talks about, the Andrew Tates, the Goggins, that kind of stuff, and understand the characters they're playing, all of that jazz, to build the brand.
Yeah, I think I
They're
hear
smart enough to do that.
I think his entire career is mapped out at this point.
And to be honest, he
go
probably
get a trademark on Degan Danger Zone.
I mean, I might try to. And to be honest,
No, I've looked at all his trademarks. It's not.
it's not there.
Yeah.
Oof, I might have to try
Degan
that.
is Degan 38, Hayden Degan. All those are trademarks.
Do they own DeganDangerZone.com?
I don't know. Go look.
Ooh, I should.
It's just a website with Hayden Degan's face. You go to click the...
Somebody go buy that right now.
No. You should get Degan Danger Zone, and the website is literally just his face with your voice in the background going, Degan Danger Zone.
And you put like a menu bar up top, and you think people are gonna go click it to bring you to another page, and it's
And
just
then
that.
it's
just
It's
the
just
same
that.
thing.
It's just the same fucking thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I should
with
do
like
that.
a siren. Degan Danger.
Oh, people
that'd be
get
awesome.
so pissed, but they'd be like, clever.
With just in the background, I went to the danger zone.
And then the only other thing you can click on is shop, and there's a shirt.
Anti-Degan Degan Club.
That's great. That's great.
Oh man,
Oh.
we just made all the money.
If somebody steals this idea, it's on record.
I'm
We're
going to
talking
buy
about it.
DeganDangerZone.com after the after
go
we're
on
done
the trademark
recording.
registry. It's pretty interesting.
I'm so
I
ready
found
for
Ken
how long does
Roxon's
it-
address on there,
Interesting.
and I looked up his house.
How long does it? I mean, I had that a long time ago.
What, the really like ranch style looking one down in Florida?
Well, I don't know. I didn't look up his house, but I had his address a long time ago because that one girl Zoe I dated made a bandana for his dog and sent it to him. Like
I forgot about that.
She DM'd him and was like, "Hey, I make these bandanas for dogs. Would you guys like one?" And he DM'd her back and was like,
really?
"Yeah." And then his dog had it on in one of the preview show things.
Oh, that's pretty
Literally, I have a picture. I
Wasn't
think
the dog
somewhere.
wearing it at the National that year?
I don't remember. Maybe.
I think so.
But it was on national TV. I literally paused it, took a picture. I was like, "Dude, your bandana's on fucking TV."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and she was like DMing him, not like his manager or anything, like him. So I was like, wow, that's sweet. So anyway,
Anyway,
But yeah, I'll go buy
that
that
ends the
website.
Degan Danger Zone.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
let's get to McAdoo.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, I got lost on there one day. A lot of interesting stuff on
how long
there.
does it take to do a trademark?
I don't know, but you can see who owns what their company name's under, what their LLC is.
Probably a
what
lot cheaper
address.
than doing an LLC.
What's the website?
Just, I don't remember how I got to it. We'll look at it.
And that's been your Isaac Nelson Designs Degan Danger Zone. I didn't do the intro on that.
I
which
know,
sucks.
loser.
Well, sorry, I got excited. We were talking about Degan here. I need to make some money.
This kid is he is definitely becoming a Degan homer.
I like it.
Dude, I'm okay, but you gotta
I'm
understand.
Brian
in the middle. I just like what it brings. It's a little different flavor.
I was
I
gonna
like
say
Brian.
I'm an Andrew Tate, whatever, Goggins, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm
Well,
a fan.
Goggins is a lot different than
I'm
all
a
these
fan
people.
of them in a sense. There, I won't go crazy with it because I know a lot of you are gonna come out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh, you like Andrew Tate? You fucking misogynistic piece of shit," or whatever. Even though, like, we could
Dude,
have
nobody
a
even
whole
cares about Andrew
we could
Tate
have a whole
anymore.
argument about that.
Is he still alive?
He is,
Yeah,
but nobody cares about him
Yeah,
anymore.
what color's your Bugatti? But anyway,
Red.
But I like the fact that he's kind of
It's
taking,
different.
and he's kind of taking on that bad guy role in a set. Like when you talk about saying that and whatever, I'm like, okay, but at the same time, we talked about him taking on that bad guy role and being kind of the bad guy or the villain. You know, he's going to
think he's
continue
into Kanye?
Yeah,
maybe I don't know.
Kanye's definitely not a clone, by the way.
Rigsby's Facebook post about the outage the other day though made me laugh. I was like, my guy over here thinking a little bit.
I'm just ready for somebody to bad guy the bad guy.
I mean, that'd be sweet, dude.
You know who it needs to be? Nick Romano.
It needs to be Vince Freeze.
I am all about inserting a little bit of the WWE character traits here into some of these riders, and really, like, you want to talk about growing the sport?
Honestly, right now,
Right
because
there.
it's not going to be
We're
one of
way
his,
off
it's
base.
not going to be it's not going to be one of his teammates for obvious reasons because we saw how well that worked last year. If they're, and I don't want this to happen because we don't need this kind of shit. But like, if there's going to be a bad guy, the bad guy, there's only two people in that coast that it's going to happen, and one of them is going to be Cameron McAdoo, and the other one's going to be Pierce Brown. Those are the only two dudes that have the balls. Because Max, a couple of years ago, Max would have been that dude, and he would have made it stick. Max is at the point that he doesn't care anymore. He's not going to get sucked into that. And Fortner would have.
McAdoo won't. McAdoo wants to be a good guy too bad. Pierce Brown maybe low key might do it because Pierce Brown. I mean, after that Brown on Swole crime there.
Exactly.
that's,
Pierce Brown don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I
So
was
maybe.
gonna say something super fucked up.
Somebody,
Yeah, don't say
don't
shut
do
up.
it. Somebody needs to bad guy the bad guy.
So all right, let's move on here. So Cameron McAdoo second.
So I
Did
want
you guys know his sister's in the Air Force?
Yes.
Yeah. How funny is it when you got Degan doing this whole like super like dickbag speech on the podium, and then you
over
got
there.
Cameron like the good old American boy.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, though. I didn't realize that was his sister.
Just not going there.
You want to know what would be a?
We're getting. You talk about me.
You want to know what would be some great
Unbelievable.
PR, and he's the wrong guy for it. But he should have started that interview out with, "Man, I let it all hang out tonight." That's
should've.
how he should have started it.
I know he's way too good of a guy because like he just wanted that to go away, and I'm like, man, I would play that whole way
God.
through this season,
Yeah.
bro. That would be my shtick
This
all
sounds
year.
super weird.
That
but,
would be your shtick.
Oh boy, here we go. Yeah,
well, this is super weird, probably.
because
But
it was literally my shtick.
Yeah, anything you talk about McAdoo's bowls is weird.
well, everybody I show that photo to, every male, it all's kind of like,
All right.
okay, everybody's got respect.
Can we?
He's pumping babies,
can
dude.
Can we move on?
Yeah, we can.
Hang on, no, I got one more
thank God.
thing. One more thing. So,
Oh man.
in the beginning,
Is this
the
relevant to dirt bikes?
yeah,
Yes.
in the pre-race thing,
Okay.
they were talking about his knee injury. I didn't know he had a knee injury, but now I understand it was probably from that thing swinging back and forth.
Apparently, he's got a bunch of different injuries.
It was knocking from knee to knee like
Okay.
like a cuckoo
Okay.
clock.
Anyway,
Okay, we
moving
talking about
on.
the race.
like
moving
a
on, yep.
like a cuckoo
Yeah,
clock.
because we've been so far off base with this
Oh,
255.
no, that's a
God.
grandfather clock.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
like the
Tom-
one at the Brickyard?
Or do we
No,
call it a
Martinsville.
grandfather
Oh,
cock?
Martinsville, the one in Martinsville?
Or do we
Yeah.
call it a grandfather cock?
Oh my
Oh, man.
God.
All right, so Tom Vial gets third after dying in Q1.
Is there
So-
video of this incident?
I haven't
No,
seen it yet, but
like-
I saw him.
I saw the after effects.
Yeah, I saw it on the broadcast there of qualifying, and yeah,
Did
he was
he-
laying there for a while. I don't know what happened.
He low key as that race went on, dude. He
Got
was
better.
pushing forward.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
New Marv.
New Marv,
New Marv.
Marv Muskin.
I want to
2.0.
just see, kind of like with a few of these guys, I want to just see Tom get a start, man, and I also want to see him get a start in a day that he doesn't die,
yeah.
because he definitely was. He was hurt, like that was bad. But yeah, they were talking about in Detroit. They were like, yeah, like at the end of that main, and nobody knew because like how hectic that main was. Apparently, at the end of the main, for like the last 5 minutes, he was just like a second faster than everybody on track.
Weird.
Wouldn't have known it unless you looked at the lap times because we didn't see it, which is crazy considering he went up and over like three people in the first turn. But then you look at the lap times last night too, same thing. Like, dude, his lap times were solid.
Yeah.
So
Keep an eye on Biel at Daytona.
at Daytona,
I don't know. I think Anstey's going to win Daytona, right?
Yeah.
nah,
Anybody that has GP background is gonna win Daytona.
Gonna win Daytona.
fuck off.
Who else has a GP background that's in the field?
I don't know. Speaking of that, though, did you guys watch the Red Bull thing about Prado?
No,
Not yet.
Where,
Not yet.
dude, he's literally in the truck, and who was he in the truck with? Ryder D was talking to him at one of the mud races there, like, oh, yeah, you're going to do good. And he literally looks at him, he's like, why do you guys all think that the GP guys are good at mud? I suck at mud. Like, what are you guys? You
That's
guys are
factual.
idiots.
That's factual.
You guys are idiots.
He got his ass beat today or yesterday at a warm-up race by Ruben Fernandez.
Well, that happens. So anyway, Ham Maker, aka Maker of the Hams, is
What?
Can
fourth.
we call him Steak Maker?
Steak Maker. Yes.
No, he's good.
We got to have nicknames for everybody.
I just think a lot of last night was the fact he hasn't raced Supercross a lot, and he kind of melted himself early.
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
And I mean, dude, he's had this tendency for a while now to do this. Because he just doesn't
Super
race
nice,
it. He doesn't.
super nice guy. He's not going to be a bad guy either.
No, he's a very nice man.
He's a
No,
super nice
he's a
dude.
very good kid. Comes from a good family. I think he's just going to get better because he's just going to end up racing more.
Yeah.
The dude has not raced a lot in the last 2 years.
Well, that depends. If he decides he wants to be a scrub daddy like in Detroit and just wad
still,
his shit.
still
like,
don't understand that whole thing. I don't understand what
he
he
just
was
tried
doing.
to. As he said, I just tried to scrub too much
Bro,
speed.
I just want to get completely horizontal going over this little step up. It's fine.
It's
Even though it's
totally
a 3
fine.
foot lip that like is
Yeah.
destined to kick you.
It made no sense to me what he was doing there. I'm like, dude, you're.
I don't think it made a lot of sense to anybody. Everybody was confused why he was
Mitch
laying on the
looked at him
ground.
like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
Not really sure. So anyway, Pierce Brown 5th, down in the Brown in the heat race.
I don't care. It's just
I don't care.
Yeah, he just is who he is. Firepower Honda
he's
next year.
gonna send it.
Isn't he like Korean like you or something? Ethiopian, something like that?
No,
Aren't you
dude,
guys,
he's
like
Hawaiian.
related.
He's Hawaiian.
Oh, I thought you guys were related. Hawaiian? Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Does Brown sound like a Korean name to you?
No,
I'm
it
not
sounds
sure.
pretty like average white American.
Yeah. Well, he's not full on like. But have you seen his mom? You see her complexion?
Yeah, she's at every race, which is
I've
weird.
heard she's good looking. Can you confirm nor deny?
We're gonna move on. Max Anstey 6th, red plate holder.
How do you?
Sorry, I bring that up because Dean Wilson's always talking trash on Instagram, like, "Ooh, Pierce's mom." Dean's Dean.
Dean's Dean.
Which is weird because you look at his wife and you're like, why would you talk about any other woman on the planet?
Sarah.
I've heard stories.
Please don't stop.
I want to hear about these stories
How
after
do you?
this.
How do you?
No,
think
it
Ma-
involves just Dean
Oh God.
and Redbud.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Never
How
mind.
do you
Moving
think
on.
How do you think Max does? Has he? If he doesn't get a bad start last
I think
night?
he just consistently hits that top 5 mark there, and he wins this title.
God, dude, that'd be wild if he wins the title
Wow,
without
Max
winning the
Anstey
race.
wins a title. That'd be
He's
wild.
Tim Ferry.
I think Tim Ferry would not like that, but sure.
I
He's like,
mean,
"Go fucking Brits."
Max Ferry.
Tim Ferry's got to root for somebody. His kid
So,
can't ride.
If
Factual.
if Max Anstey wins a title, does he get the same title bonus from Honda as a HRC guy would?
I don't know.
God, you would
It's
think
a
so.
great question.
How would that work?
I'll ask. If I see him and I get a chance,
What-
I'll ask.
what
He'd
would
probably
be?
tell you.
He
He
probably
probably
would
would.
tell you. I mean, he literally went up on East Rutherford on the podium and he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of your Reeves money tonight."
I mean, I'm. That's a good question, and that's something that like I will walk by somebody and be like, "Hey, man, got a quick question for you." It's a good opener. I like it.
That is actually a very good question, Cole.
Yeah.
You would.
Wow! Boom! Just hit. him.
Yeah, like, hey, good fucking question.
job, buddy.
Yeah, no, that is a good question.
What a question.
I would hope so.
I
I would
mean,
really hope
maybe.
so, man. For that team, like to win
Or-
a,
It'd be
Yeah.
real shady
title?
for any manufacturer if somebody on their bike wins a title. It's not on the factory team, and they don't pay him the same bonus as like a factory
I
did.
mean, like Roxon's bonus was an insurance policy when he won a title.
the first
pretty sure.
time. I think he's uninsurable now. He's got to be on
Well,
that
this
same
was
level. of jet.
RCH days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was fine then, but yeah, he's got to be uninsurable now.
Because I wonder, like when
Like you can't insure
No, I
jet.
bet Progressive insured him.
Because I wonder, like when Stu was on JGR,
Yeah.
like how that would have worked out had
I
he
don't know.
got a title for them.
Not sure.
Because obviously, like Joe would have paid him a lot of money, but like would Yamaha paid him a lot of money?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just wonder how the bonus structure is from Honda themselves.
And I also wonder, like, if they do, what is that bonus?
I don't know. I have to ask. If
Would
we
it be
see
more
him,
than
if we see him
Hymas?
in Detroit, we'll ask.
What if you-
Probably a
Detroit-
milli.
Yeah,
Detroit over.
Indy.
Indy.
Whatever. Same
God, now I
difference.
really hope Max wins because, like, God, that dude, he needs to make a lot of money because he's just been through the shit.
His wife's hot too. All right, Chance Hymas, 7th.
That was better
Anybody
than-
watch anything of him yesterday? I didn't
Man,
notice him either.
I mean, I think he's
Is
second.
there, so every time I hear Hymas, I think of the word hymen. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
What's
anyway,
a hymen? I'm gonna Google it.
Anyway,
He was just kind of there.
Every time I see Chance, I just think
Chance.
I just think of Trey Kennard.
that Fly commercial he's in super weird too. With like
really
the guys
dumb.
with the black helmets.
Yeah, it's
and
really
stuff.
stupid. That doesn't fit him.
It's very
Weird.
occultish.
Okay, yeah, this is why I got to read this definition of a hymen out for you. Or out loud. Read it out loud.
Boy.
No.
Read it out loud.
No. Do not read that out loud.
The definition of
Is this Urban Dictionary?
No, that's real.
No, that's
legit.
real.
That's a hymen.
We're not reading that out loud.
Okay.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Cody Schock, 8th.
Oh, man, dude.
6th in points.
God, good for Cody
Right
Schock.
up there, dude. I mean,
for Cody Schock.
that ClubMX team needs all the help they can get.
Yeah, well, I really hope to put him on a 450 outdoors.
Jet Reynolds should have 2 titles by now.
Have you heard the rumors that Zach's going to ride 450 for him outdoors?
I've heard the rumors that Zach's riding 450 in Canada.
I've heard 250 club outdoors because it was going to be him and Savachi.
He's riding a
Against
450.
each other.
Whatever he's doing, he's riding a 450.
Yeah, I heard he's going to Canada.
I don't think that's the case.
He must be fucking bored.
No, I don't
No,
think
dude, he's doing GNCCs and he's training Jack Chambers.
No, he's not doing GNCCs
Well,
anymore.
he's been-
He quit that after last year.
Yeah, because he got smoked.
I don't.
Well, I also
So-
think it's funny that him and Savachi are just like boys now.
They're
is
they're
weird.
training together. But so he's on Steve's Thursday show, and he will not come out and say yet what he's doing. But Steve keeps asking him,
Crying.
"Why are you riding so much? Why are you riding so much? Why are you riding so much?"
Oh, he's poking.
And I don't know. He isn't going to Canada. There's no way he's riding Canada. There's not any money. He's not riding for free. Somebody called him and asked about riding something this week,
There's
and
teams up there that pay him.
I don't think so. There's no way he's going to Canada. He's going to ride in the U.S. I think he's going to ride for Club.
I don't think he should ride outdoors at all with his back issues.
Apparently, they're better. If they weren't, I don't think he'd be doing it, to be honest with you. But
Well,
I
he's
mean,
gonna-
it had to be better. He raced GNCCs last
I don't
year.
know, dude. He must be fucking bored.
He's
He's got
gonna-
plenty of money in the bank.
He's going to be on
He
a struggle.
probably is
He's
bored.
going to be on the struggle bus if he does.
Did you listen to the RV podcast with Gypsy Tales there?
You talking about how bored he was?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like-
yeah.
Yeah.
You get after that just grinding for so many years. You make all this money. Obviously, Zach's not made near the money that RV did. And then you're like,
Yeah, he still probably made quite a bit of money.
And at 30 years, but the problem is even with Zach at 30 or 32, whatever the hell, however old he is, it's like you don't have buddies that in the middle of the day can go to lunch and have 14
Yeah.
beers with you at Applebee's.
I
Like,
also don't think Zach's going to have 14
well,
beers.
I'm just
Yeah, I know what you're
saying. I'm just saying. It's like that your buddies who are that age are working normal jobs.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem
well, now his
with
buddy Savachi, and they're training.
That's
Yeah.
the problem with moto. He should probably teach him how to ride in the sand. That's the problem with moto people. Like that, this has been your entire life. Like
Mm-hmm.
you look to that day where you can retire, and then you realize that after like a year or 6 months that you're not working towards a goal anymore, and you've literally been doing this since you're 5. You're like, shit.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do.
I'll bet he rides Club 450
Yeah.
outdoors.
Off topic, but
Yeah, off topic, but just since the
yeah,
club
it fits
thing
into
got
the
brought
club
up.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
Because I mean, who are they gonna? So
Also, while on the topic of club,
Marchbanks outdoors, is he
Phil.
gonna go 450? Well,
Yeah.
Phil's 450 for sure.
Marchbanks 450, Phil, and dude, I gotta
Unless
believe
they
they're putting Shock on a 450. I don't think Shock's gonna ride
So
a
they're gonna
250
run
outdoors.
5 450 guys.
Might as well. Why not? Cheaper.
well, what's Reynolds gonna do?
Not win a title.
Well, he's hurt, so
He should have 2.
He couldn't even win a title as last year as an amateur.
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get to these
No.
250s and then we
What
can
was
shoot
I
the
just
shit.
going to
Okay.
say about club, and I fucking blew it?
No, well,
Are you investing in their team?
No, damn it, dude.
I'm sure Enzo.
Well, if it comes,
That's what I was going to bring up.
oh
Enzo.
yes,
Enzo was
yes,
supposed
I
to
thought
race
about
it.
this
He was
last
supposed
night.
to race.
I'm sure club is just like,
So, dude, people are all over him. They're like, karma, karma, karma.
That's what it is.
kind of is.
And here's the problem, too. He's like, dude, if he doesn't come back and race Supercross, you just lost a whole year.
I mean, he's getting slapped by the hand of God right now. To be honest with you,
Don't fuck people
for
over,
what he
bro.
did, yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
fuck people
or man
over.
up and just say, hey, like, this is the opportunity
Bah.
I got going on. Have an adult conversation.
Bro, he's Brazilian. He ain't going to man up.
Wow.
Brazilians are prideful.
And here come the Brazilian comments.
We don't have Brazilians that watch the show.
It blows my mind how many Brazilians are behind that guy. Like, on all the posts.
Brazil is wild.
Yeah.
Is it
everything.
Hey.
They're passionate people.
Y'all haven't been to Disney World and watched the Brazilian groups chant and walk around.
I watch Brazilians in MMA, and they're wild. So, yeah, it's...
So
Yeah, are they behind him as much as Chile is behind Hardy Munoz?
maybe can we get back to the races here
of
though?
course.
Let's move on, and then we can shoot the shit, man,
Yeah.
because we're only a couple hours in, so
Yeah,
we
shut
can
your mouth.
talk about some stuff. You want me to shove that microphone so far down your mouth? You know what it's like for Cameron McAdoo's wife, or what?
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh, I got something to show
Whoa!
Oh, I got something for you.
I want to see
Ew.
that.
Remind me.
Ew!
I don't know.
This is a family
Remind
show.
me.
Here we go.
Can we get on with this?
Yeah. So Guillaume Perez 9th. I think that's fine.
Dude, he is just solid.
The Husky team doesn't give a
They
shit
don't
anyway.
really care about results.
And hey,
so.
here's the thing too, man. He out-qualified all of the star guys.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't want to know.
He out-qualified all of the star guys in practice.
Yeah.
And they don't give They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No,
What,
he's done a lot better than even I expected.
I mean, like I said, for a kid that's never raced Supercross, in my mind, like he's kind
Like,
of invisible
never.
because I haven't been watching for him at all.
Yeah.
Partially fantasy
We'll
based.
get to see him in Indy, though.
He'll be great
But
outdoors.
yeah, for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
I think this is fine. So, Dax Bennett 10th. That was a bad day yesterday.
Yeah, I think to me it's kind of like the LCQ quick turnaround time. I think he was smoked
But why were you in the LCQ anyway?
because he crashed.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
But he like
He didn't ride that shitty.
well, he didn't move forward. He was in 16th for like 3 or 4 laps
Oh, he was
in
like
that.
way
So,
back. I think he crashed and was down.
Here's
for a while.
a question for you. Since you can kind of put them in the same boat because they did all of last year in the futures and obviously the AM Moto stuff and all that. Who do you think at the end of the year ends up having a better year between him and Juju?
Juju.
You think
I don't
Juju's a lot better outdoors too? I'm picking Juju.
Juju wasn't good in the mud, so they've kind of had similar here of like a really good one. But Juju hasn't been on the box yet, right?
No.
No.
Yeah.
There also hasn't been a first turn pileup with 800.
Well, I
dudes
guess
in
that's the
West
thing,
Coast,
too, but-
I'm picking Juju, man, only because I'm a believer in him. Not that I'm not a believer in Dax, but I think Juju.
I've never seen Bowman run outdoors.
I think Dax is going to be better, but I don't know. Flip a coin.
You think it's because the bike's better?
Yeah.
Okay.
So flip a coin.
All
Henry Miller 11th. That's a good ride for
Wow,
Henry
I didn't
Miller.
even know he was in there.
Dude, this
Dude,
no fantasy thing
This fall
fucks my day up.
Yes, it does.
I was watching in the LCQ some of the different stuff going, okay, pay attention to this because you don't pay attention to this anymore. And yeah, it's
that really.
Well, good for Henry Miller, man. Just solid 2 weeks in a row.
Dude, he's always been
2 races in a
Yeah.
row.
great fantasy pick.
yeah, great. Nick Romano 12th.
I think he gassed himself in the
he's-
heat, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah,
Well, dude,
he's got speed up
I mean,
in
once again,
Supercross.
think about the fact he had not raced since 2022. It's
Yeah.
just it's
Also-
kind of like with Hammaker, like it's just a product of not racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he also has never even put his wheels on a Supercross track.
Dude, when he gets it figured out, he's gonna be up there
think so?
consistently. I think
Yeah.
so. That's why I'm a
I
believer in
think
him. man.
outdoors. I remember him
Holy
winning outdoors
shit.
or leading outdoors.
Well, and he was given jet fits at Unadilla that one year.
Yeah,
So he's gonna be spicy outdoors.
I think so.
Interesting.
Speaking of people that I think are going to build as the year goes on, Michigan's own Marshall Welton 13th.
On that Gizmo mods.
Gizmo
Yamaha.
mods.
I bet he misses the Suzuki, to be honest.
I mean, he was up there. He got a good start. Was it the heat or the main? He was up
Heat
there.
race.
Heat.
Yeah, and he was up there, and I was like, oh, look at that. There's Welton.
I mean, dude, Marshall's just good, man. People
Straight
forget
out
about him.
Ubli. Ubli, Michigan.
People forget about him.
Yep.
I wonder what he's got going on for outdoors though, because like I want to see him ride the entire year.
Yeah, I always forget about
so-
him going overseas, doing that whole
Yeah,
thing,
dude.
coming back to
Well,
Canada.
I mean, he went over there the same time that Charbonneau did.
There are so many of these dudes like him on these little teams that have a truck with nothing in it other than the bike that I'm just like, and then they show up at outdoors, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? You
And then
know?
they're ripping.
Yeah, and then
Just
they're ripping.
ripping.
And like, he hasn't been on the bike that
No.
long, and he hasn't been on Supercross. Like, he was not going to race Detroit.
Like
And
people,
then all of a sudden, it was just like, he was there.
like people forget
Hometown.
2 years ago when he got that HEP ride, he was like running top tens.
Yeah.
At a 450 national.
Yeah. So, Lorenzo Lacrucio, 14th.
Yeah,
Wildcat racing.
Wildcat Racing.
God.
Again, I didn't even realize he was in
Nope.
Looking forward to seeing him and Jose Butron outdoors. All
Yep.
there.
in-
God, fantasy is just ruining my experience.
I know, dude. It's terrible. Gage Linville, 15th. Ryder.
Hell of a battle in that LCQ.
Yes.
Oh, are we
Yes.
going to talk about that now?
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
sure
get.
can.
We're gonna
Go
get
for
to
it.
the,
All right,
no,
go
we're gonna
for
get to those guys.
I
Let's-
really
let's
want
wait for
see...
Munoz.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Ryder Floyd, 16th. Isaiah Clark, 17th.
Isaiah Clark was kind of shocked that he showed up. I understand with the arena cross thing, but
Yeah.
he just never really does the supercross thing.
Is Michael Hicks on that same
Gizmo mods, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say because it was weird they
It's
wasn't on a
Rock River
Honda.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Gizmo mods is. Never heard of
18th,
it. But
no idea.
Gizmo.
Dude, he's a big kid on
Yeah.
a 250F.
Brock Pappy.
Ooh,
19th.
he's got some shit coming his way.
Hardy Munoz 21st, and we'll talk about the other two after we talk about the LCQ.
Pappy has got some shit coming his
Why,
way.
you think he's getting a shit clean?
Hardy is gonna fucking send him to the moon.
You think?
Oh,
Dude, how about Hardy?
Hardy about sent himself to the moon.
How about Hardy jumping into the whoop section the opposite way, saving it, and just happens to be nobody's coming.
that,
rhythm
where on
section.
the Fortner jump when he clipped his foot.
Oh,
when he
God,
just
I know.
preloaded the shit and he bounced and he's just like, oh God. Like, dude,
Hardy is the new A-Ray.
I
and
don't
like,
know, dude.
Yes, they
It's
talk about
scary
this
to
on
watch.
Pulp. He's
Scary
the new
to watch.
A-Ray.
Scary to watch.
Hardy
have
is.
you guys watched the HBI vlogs when he's down there with
Not
like Caden
all of them,
Braswell?
no.
So I watched a lot of the pre-stuff when Caden Braswell was still
Yeah.
like healthy before he got hurt, and it was because obviously Ty was not riding yet, and then Aiden Shiv and both him and Cole Bradford were both hurt. So it was just Braswell and Hardy just pounding out motos, and dude, Hardy like.
That's just how he rides every
That's
day.
just who he is, man. That's just who he is all the time, all day, every day. Like in his like real life, just on track, off. That's just who he is, man.
He's A-Ray 2.0. He's exciting to watch.
Like there was one, and I don't remember which vlog it was because they've done quite a bit for a while. They've followed the whole progress. So I think it's cool.
yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I've watched a couple.
And his mechanic is funny too because his mechanic will like throw him under the bus. And there was one day where like he came in and dude, it must have been like 100 degrees out because like dude they were just soaked. But he comes in after doing like a 15-minute and he comes in and he just like throws all of his shit off and like sits in front of the fan. And his mechanic comes up to him and he just goes, what is wrong with you today? And Hardy just looks at me and he goes, I ate fucking spicy noodles last night.
So he's a funny guy.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Just what? So yeah, no, that's just who he is, man. That's just who he is.
That is awesome.
But no, I think
Sounds
Pappy,
like his personality's a little loose, and so is his riding.
I think Pappy's.
Well, he's
I
from
think
Central
Pappy's-
America.
I think Pepe's getting his shit cleaned out.
Pappy.
Wait, Chile's in South America, right?
Pappy Le Pew?
Not Central America. Okay. Yeah.
You said Pappy Le Pew?
No.
But I don't know where that came from. Like, I don't know why Brock did that, but wrong move.
I don't know Pappy very well, but I've seen
He's
a
a
lot of
dick.
hate on him.
He's a douche.
Is he? Okay, that confirms my suspicion.
His dad's a piece of shit too.
Whoa, dang.
Whoa.
I've helped some people in the
Did he
past.
piss in your Cheerios?
No, man, he's just kind of a liar.
Are you gonna have to issue an apology for this one next week too?
No, because I don't really care about him, but I
No,
will
he
issue
just
an
clipped it.
apology
Okay.
about
All right.
Drake Swole.
Well, we'll
He
get
clipped
this
it,
here.
and the caption on Instagram is going to say Brock Pappy.
Yeah,
is
he's
douche.
solely gonna just try to blow me out for that.
Look,
one,
in all
100%.
fairness, I just use a software. Okay, I don't really clip it. It's software clips
Why?
it.
It just picks up whatever.
yeah,
up.
yeah, it just
No.
goes through and picks them. Yeah.
But no,
Sometimes
that was
it picks good stuff.
Sometimes it
doesn't.
does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not fully on board with it, but I'm trying to use the AI thing to produce more stuff. So
It just gets it out there.
I'll just
yeah.
tell you though, I just don't think that was a good idea because we've all seen the way Hardy just sends it.
I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm here for it too.
250 LCQs East Coast here.
I think it's gonna
lit.
I think it's gonna happen, dude. And you know where it's gonna happen? It's gonna happen when we're in Indy in the LCQ during the day.
I'm okay with it.
You guys remember St. Louis 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Where Hardy was just bouncing off people the whole time.
Oh, I remember Devin Raper almost making the main.
I remember Devin Raper and who was it fighting?
I remember when you and Devin Raper were
07
arguing
Deuce.
arguing over Twitter all day too.
Well, that's why I was really less than impressed that he was about to make the main.
Oh, that's right, because our Twitter day for a while.
Well, because they fought at the one race.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is topical in the sport. I'm
Yeah.
going to change the name to Devin Raper.
Yes,
so
and
people,
then I remember you
I
showed
was
me
just
the
tweeting the
DM.
dumb shit I usually tweet, and people thought it was Devin Raper saying it.
So let's see. You've gotten into it with Devin Raper. You got into it with Devin Harriman.
Oh, I went back and forth with Zacho for a little while the other day.
Zacho,
what?
who's the other person?
no, it's like a good conversation.
Who was the person that you got banned from their Twitter for a while? Was it Barsha?
I'm blocked from Barsha's Instagram
Yeah.
on my personal account.
So like you've been blocked from Barsha. Devin Raper
All I
hates
did
you.
was tell Barsha he had a shit kit when it was that dirty ass, dusty ass Alpine Star
Devin
gear.
Harriman hates you because you corrected his grammar.
I don't think he hates me. He just looks like an idiot.
He doesn't know what satellite means, and
He doesn't know how to spell privateer either.
Yeah,
He's spelled
fucking-
privateer.
Oh, God.
I'm a privateer.
I'm a privateer.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
shaving privateer Ryan.
All right. All right. Well, we got two more things to talk about here.
God.
Hey, do you want to know what I said to Zacho?
Oh, yeah. What'd you...
So I was thinking,
Look, you're not a legend until you get Eli Tomac to tweet at you.
I know I'm gonna start having to at him.
You're gonna have
So
to.
it's really funny. You look at Tomac's likes on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's still kind of active on there. A lot of Davey Day Trader, Portnoy, and a lot of
really?
stock stuff.
Dude, well, it's funny because the only time they talk about him coming out of the woodwork and tweeting is Zacho said something about him.
Oh, yeah.
And
He
then he
just came
tweeted
out of
it.
nowhere.
And they came out of nowhere, tweeted it. Zacho
He was
has
talking
never-
about when he won the title.
Yes, and has never been seen since.
He called him out. He was like, "Yeah, well, I still beat him that year or some shit." And he pissed him off.
No. It was Osborne said that
They had to do a tear off,
that
right?
that his strength was like roosting him
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
Yes.
And Tomac was like, "That'd be like saying my career I was a whole shot artist or something or something along those lines."
So, yeah, all I know is it's just
it was
epic.
a very like methodical, like witty play on words.
Dude, he's probably low-key hilarious in private,
Probably.
and no one ever knows
Oh,
it.
I bet he is.
It's
I think he
usually-
is.
it's
You can
usually
just
those
tell
types.
he's got some funny shit.
Dude, it's usually those types, man, the quiet ones that are actually the low key funniest shit people.
Thinking
Well,
about you talking about his head thing, dude. The meme with the little dog that's always like when my wife's talking to me, but she's taking her shirt off, and I'm just like, yep. That's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
I see of that. We need to get him doing that next to
well,
the dog.
In some of the Dirt Shark videos, I don't know if you watch those, but
Yeah.
Dirt Shark seems to get some humor out of him all
He
the time.
does, yeah. So-
Eli would be probably the one person that, like, if you got him lit as shit, you could just low down on anything you wanted.
He looked like he was fun at Des Nations when he was drunk after the race.
Oh,
I
he was
think
drunk
that-
off half a beer. He's peckerheading all over.
That's okay.
I
I wish the camera was on to see me doing the
Oh,
picture.
dude, I'm
Everybody
not
knows
gonna-
I'm talking about.
I'm not going to be able to look at him now without seeing this.
Well, that's when he's pumped up, dude. You know he's pumped.
Toe back over here,
Oh.
Pecker. No, that's awesome.
I can just imagine him walking up to Jet going like this.
Hey, Jet.
Well, no, he did it to Barsha. When, Jesus,
God.
dude. When
Bug nuts
Barsha,
everywhere.
when Barsha was talking smack to him, he was like, "Hey, guess what? You got something to lose too." And then he was rocking his head back and forth. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, God.
All right. So a couple things to finish up 250 class here, since we're way off topic as per normal.
Per usual.
So let's talk about Faulkner. We've kind of talked about the crash, obviously, with him. Terrible.
Heartbroken, dude.
Heartbroken.
Broken L3 and L4. Broken scapula. Or no, not scapula.
Scapula.
Was that what it was? Okay, scapula.
Dad claims a contact. was
Dad
coming out.
claims a contact half fell out.
Well, this is why Austin doesn't really have his dad talk for him.
People I talk to who have contacts say that's not really a thing. I don't know. I've never been part of it. So
I wouldn't know either.
I wouldn't either.
all I know is that was scary. Like, that was bad.
Dude,
Bad.
like I
I
said-
haven't felt that way since I watched Kenny's deal.
Literally,
I had
like,
to rewind it. I missed it.
literally, I was sitting there and, like, when he just got pitched, I literally just, like, I tensed
I
up.
had a heart rate spike.
I mean, I looked up. I was looking at something on my phone. Somebody like text me or something. I look up, and as they're going, oh, and all I see is like the end there where he would like fell below the wall, and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, you know it's bad too when, of all people, Ricky, you even get a reaction out of him.
Yeah.
Like, because usually Ricky, when you have those bad ones, he's just like, oh, that's really bad. Like, dude, he just, like,
Dude, I mean, Ricky on the Honda going to Indonesia over that step up about 50 feet head first into the ground.
I just, like, dude, like I told you guys earlier, that was the first time in a very long time that my heart, like, sunk.
Yeah.
And my
Yep.
stomach,
Same
like,
thing.
I just, like, I had this pit in my stomach. I was like, holy fucking shit.
That's kind of how I felt.
And when he just, like, goes out of the screen, I'm just like,
yeah, it was bad, dude.
I'm like, is he alive right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just knew. I seen that and I was like, I just knew there was nothing but concrete over there.
Dude, it was
Here's my
violent.
question, and this is gonna bring up some shit probably. How do you not backboard him off of there?
Oh, there's.
So, listen, I've read a lot on people going back and forth where EMTs are like talking through their process, and if they're checking him out on the ground, this is what I understood from it anyway.
Okay.
They're checking him out on the ground and they do all these tests with him. Then, if all of that passes, it's like, hey, do you think you can stand up? And then they get him on his feet. It's after they do all this stuff with him on the ground and demobilized.
Well,
Now, where the Brian Moreau situation
was
was
about to
different,
say-
I was gonna say.
they pulled him off the track before doing the stabilizing stuff.
and that's the thing, man. Like, dude, they're under they're
under a
under a
microscope
watchful
right
eye
now.
right now, man, because of the whole thing with Moreau. And I think Bodner probably every time, like, I don't know if he did this already, but he probably wrangles all of his people up before the day goes, and he probably sits them down and he goes, "Look, guys, we are under,
Oh, I bet that
We're under
there's
fire right
there's
now.
some lawyers sitting there right now watching that incident.
and if you fuck up, that's all of us."
Yeah.
So
I don't know. So
Just a bummer,
let's talk.
dude.
Let's talk before that. So that heat
Kill-
race,
fucking.
so good.
He's the best
It's
guy.
all we needed to see, man. When I text you guys, I'm like, Fortner's turned the corner.
I was gonna say when you text me that, dude, I'm watching that and I'm like, man, it is just like they're talking about. He wasn't out of control. He wasn't wild edge trying crazy shit like he used to in the past.
I
when
don't
he hit
really
the
know
deck.
what Degan was talking about where he was making mistakes.
No, it was very smooth method. It's one of those things, okay? You see some of the guys like Sexton and stuff, like their perfect technique, like elbows up, everything like that, right? Fortner was just cruising, dude. Like his elbows were down, and he didn't look out of shape ever. He was just like, "Yep, whatever. I'm just here, like just doing my thing."
Changing the whoop line on the fly, which was
when he
impressive
started
Yeah,
tripling in, and he
Yeah.
was listening, like, dude, and that was the thing. I even saw it in practice, and like I saw it in Detroit, but I definitely saw it there. I was sitting there watching it, and you're watching him in the first section, and you watch Degan went to the top, then Anstey, and then it was Hammaker, and I was watching Fortner when they had him on there, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna reset, go for a heater, went to the top of the board, and then Hammaker right after him, zapped him by like a tenth. We all know that Fortner for a long time in practice would always
He
want to
was
be.
that bad.
He wanted to be the guy. He wanted to big dick swing ever and be the guy, and he would go
Then
out
he got
there.
a teammate with McAdoo, and he was like, "Well, fuck, there goes that idea."
And he would make a mistake, and it would fluster him the whole time. And then he would just sit there and think about that one section the whole entire time. And you just watch him just blowing corners, mistiming shit. And he was just kind of like, okay, cool, man. Like, I'm just not the fastest guy.
And then, like, in the main last night, you just watched him. He was in third, made passes quick, got out front, got into clean air, and was just motoing.
I mean, dude, even the heat race when Degan tried running up on the inside of him and he clipped him. Like, the old Fortner, that would have gotten his head.
Yeah.
And the old Fortner would have tried to play this cat and mouse game.
This new one looked back, and he was just
He's
like,
just like, okay,
what?
He's like, what was that?
Yeah, shoot
And dude,
fly. Don't bother me.
And even
Yeah.
when he was on the podium, he was talking, and he was just like calm, cool, and collected. Heart rate wasn't over the top. He was methodical with his words, and he's just like, hey, like, we're just, here to keep doing this.
Yeah,
And it's like,
I mean, right when we were all talking in the group chat right before that happened, I literally was like, man, Rhino has wrangled Fortner and
He
has
did.
him under control, man. And then that happens, and I'm just like, man, not to kick the kid when he's down, but like that's just like the other shoe dropping that we're waiting for. Like,
here's the thing, guys, to all you people out there that were like, oh, it was just stupid and like inconsistent or whatever. The same jump we're talking about, go watch that whole 450 main. Everybody was having problems with it.
it's the same thing like with Jets crash. It's like, dude, that track was catching literally everyone.
Because
Because night.
I've seen
It's
it.
part of the sport,
I've
man.
seen it, and
And
everybody's
for
just-
whatever reason, he's just got that black cloud over him.
And it just pisses me off. It's the same thing like kicking somebody when they're down. Like, oh, like this is just too Fortners. Everybody had that issue because you had to
Yeah.
be so pinpoint accurate with where you were dropping the front
But
end
man, but
off
it's
that
still,
roller.
but it's still with Faulkner. It's like just these huge,
It just had to be Faulkner.
and it's just huge crashes, like terrible, huge crashes like that. So, yeah, it's rough, man.
I don't know what he does now though.
I don't know either.
I don't
Hopefully,
know
a
either.
speedy recovery. But I mean,
I
do we?
doubt it.
See, I don't think we see him for outdoors and stuff now either.
Honestly,
Make a
man.
run at the SMX thing again.
Honestly,
How's he
man,
gonna-
Drop into some outdoors, get some points.
Maybe.
I mean, he did
I
last
don't
year.
know. Yeah.
But the thing though is he wasn't fully healthy by the end of
Yeah.
outdoors. Like honestly,
don't
if
know.
I'm him, man, I know that you can't really make money doing it this way, but he doesn't really get hurt outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll
I
see.
don't know. Maybe to me, if he obviously the pro circuit Kawasaki thing might be up in the air now or staying with Kawasaki. I don't know.
I think he needs to get off that team.
That's where I'm at. Is like maybe
It's time for a change of scenery up there.
yeah, that's a pressure environment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get off and go to a. I don't think the star program would be
No.
good for him. That's too
No.
cut-
He doesn't, especially with
cutthroat.
Rhino.
Stars way too much pressure.
If it's me,
Maybe go to like a firepower or
Here-
something like that.
yeah.
even.
let's finish before we finish this off since we got a little bit of time. Let's play.
Team
Put,
manager.
put your Austin Faulkner hat on right now.
Oh, okay.
What do you do? You're looking at it. You're realizing that was my shot. I'm gonna be honest. I think he was gonna win that title. I know it only been round 2, but there was nothing I was seeing from anybody else, Hayden or otherwise.
I mean, even if he would have got second, he's
Yeah.
still that was a point swing.
what do you do now, not knowing that the pro circuit thing might be up in the air? If I'm him, because I think his contract's up.
Somebody will take him.
If I'm him, I get off the 250, go to the 450, do my
Just-
1 year.
Just
Follow
restart
Jet
myself.
Reynolds over to ClubMX.
No, just
No.
anybody that will give me a shot. 1 year on the 450, if I
Just-
can prove
just
myself,
restart myself.
and just whatever happens.
I would agree with that. Like if Man, because that's tough. Because deep down, I think he knows he could win a 250 title.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how long do you keep?
How long do you keep beating your head against that wall? I mean, you got to look at it, and I brought this up. I don't know if it was to you guys or somebody else I was talking to today. Dude, him and Sexton were the same class coming in.
Oh, he's kicking Sexton's ass.
And,
He
yeah,
was.
And now Sexton is, what, 3 years? 450?
2021.
Yeah, 3 years, and with a 450 SX title, and it's like, dude, like...
Well, I saw something the other day where it broke it down. Fortner, it's been 7 years since he's
complete a Supercross season?
any season.
I mean, dude, think back to 2018 that he was beating Zacho for a 250
Yeah.
title. So it's like that tells you how long he's been in championship mode or consistency. He's literally battled for championships pretty much every year that he's gone into a season healthy.
Yeah, like the knee with the Sexton year, collarbone the next year, the whole over the bar thing the Ferrandis year.
Mm-hmm.
The year with Jet.
Came back, Jet cleaned him, and then the knee last year.
The 1 year that you could say that he had no shot was 2017, and that was his first full rookie season.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
I don't know. It's bad.
It's
I don't know where you go
heartbreaking,
from here. Yeah.
I think he needs to get off the 250 and just do the 450 for one season. If somebody wants to give him a shot, cool, see what happens, and go from there. Because I actually believe that Rhino is good for him. I think Rhino has changed him.
Yeah, I think Austin's smart enough too, and you've heard it in interviews. It's the maturity out of him. Like, yeah, Rhino kind of goes off the rails on some other life stuff, but like on the bike, he knows what he's talking
But
about.
there was a video before Detroit that Rhino, they were at the test track. It was the last day before they were traveling, so Wednesday. And Rhino was talking to him, and they were out there doing their laps. And Rhino goes, hey, like, no, it was a Tuesday because they were going out because it just rained, so they were going to go ride somewhere else the next day. And Rhino, he just they end the video with Rhino going, hey, like, I got a wedding to go to. I'm not going to be out with you guys. But you know what to do. You're a fucking athlete. You're an oil machine. Eat right. Get your sleep in. Next day, just focus on your technique, what we work on, and go from there. And then you'll be fine. And that's just how he talks to him. He talks to him like, hey, I know what it's like to be in your shoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first. I thought it was going to be a
Yeah, that was going to be a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it works, man. I really do. I think that Rhino's good for him. And, yeah, I don't.
All right. Well, one last person to talk about here.
Jalik Swole.
Yeah. Would you like to issue an apology after the...
Hey, Jalik Swole. I don't think you're a shithead anymore, man. I don't think you're a shithead. Not that this
Make
kid,
sure the software gets this.
not
Oh,
that
this
he's-
is
yeah.
getting clipped by me.
That comment was totally referring to you for your first few years in the sport. I don't have a problem with you. I said plenty of times on this show, I don't feel like he's going to watch this.
Oh, he's going to. I'm
I
going
feel
to
like
tag
plenty
him
of
in
times
it.
on the show this last year, I actually commended you for how well your season was going. I don't have a problem with you as a kid, as a person, man. Like yeah, it's weird to be doing this. I don't have a problem with dude. I think he's fine.
You've never met the dude ever.
Never even talked to this guy face to face.
Yeah, I've never.
Oh, we don't have any video to clip this to.
I know this sucks. That's the one thing
never
that
mind.
sucks.
Yeah,
Not
never
happening.
mind.
We're
That
going to
was
have to
stupid.
redo it next week.
We'll film it on the iPhone after this.
Yeah, sure.
Put it up there.
Dude, we're going to send it to Racer X. Moto Aftermath Show host issues public apology.
Yeah, so Swole goes down DNFs last night.
Was looking good up until that.
Obviously, what's
Pulled the
his
Holy
nuts?
on the Triumph.
Yeah, obviously, what's his nuts? Ferry isn't even racing.
Oh, he won't be racing the rest of the year.
Bit of a bad look here.
Do they do a fill-in?
No.
They need to.
Who are they going to
I
fill
don't
in
know,
with?
but you're
I
a
don't
new,
know.
you're a
They grab
new
somebody.
company. Call somebody.
I'm sure from what I've heard about that program, somebody up in top in the tower at Triumph that's a bad look. They're going to want somebody out there.
Well,
on
you
that
know,
bike.
it's pretty unfortunate that Joey can't drop down to the 250s and ride Supercross.
Yeah, very, very valid point.
I mean, if they're star, they're just going after they're just going to anybody and being like, yeah, we'll get you out of your contract, but I know they're not
I don't know.
star.
Put Henry Miller on that bike.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Maybe.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Give him a
Maybe
shot.
put Marshall on there.
Put Marshall on
yeah.
there.
Put Marshall
some-
on there. Marshall
any-
do it.
Any of those dudes, yeah. I mean, you got to have somebody, dude. You got to have representation as a new brand.
Yeah, with a new brand like that, somebody. So,
I mean, it's like gas.
we
it's
don't
like-
even know the diagnosis on the week yet. but-
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, hopefully he's back next week because he's done pretty decent in Daytona, I think. Let's see here.
Yeah, well, you know who also wishes they'd be coming back for Daytona? Styles Robertson.
Oh, boy.
He's always been pretty
That's
low-key
another
good
one.
there.
Yeah, second.
Hold on, let me see.
Daytona God.
Maybe we haven't done great at Daytona here. 8th.
I think that's just a Florida connection people associate with him with that.
Well, he was 8th in 2021, and I guess that's the... Oh, he was 9th in 2020.
So, I mean, not
Talking
terrible.
soul.
Not
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, so top... I mean, pretty
terrible.
typical top 10. All right. That has been your 250 race recap, brought to you by our friends at 50 Grafx. So if you guys need some custom graphics, I keep looking at the camera like it's on. Make sure to check out 50 Grafx. Link in the description with a discount code. Local company. Support local companies, especially if you're in Michigan. All right. Anything else you boys want to talk
I
about?
don't know. Let me get on Twitter. Usually that shit is fun. Or X, I should
What do you guys
say.
think of the new Alpine, the limited LE Alpine
Oh, that's
Stars
what
here?
I was going to ask you guys. Who had the best military kit? Best military look.
I don't know, because like Honda didn't do anything, which was weird.
They had like one Navy logo.
I honestly, and I said this for the other round that we did, I still think the Nuclear Blast Heartbeat Heart Sauce team.
I liked the Star Bikes last night.
Starbucks are good.
Star Bikes with the Thor gear that had the military or had the camo in it too, the same color. I like that stuff a lot, so I was okay with that.
I liked Wilson's look. The
Yeah,
black and gray.
Yeah.
What else did I like? Yeah, Wageman's deal is sweet.
I like that Alpine Stars gear, but I like buying white gear, like all white gear like that. I'm like, dude, after one ride, it's
the Triumph
I
stuff
like
was
the Pro
okay.
Circuit Mick.
The Triumph stuff was okay.
yeah, that was all right.
It's always good when you do all black for military appreciation. Right?
Yeah, so
I got something for you that has nothing to do with that.
okay.
Well, it has to do with Moto, but it has nothing to do with last
Hang
night.
on 1 second. Denny Stevenson coming in hot. I was told today by multiple folks on social media that Tomac's beast mode is nothing more than a myth, like Bigfoot, UFOs, and Hunter Biden's laptop.
Dude, Denny Stevenson is a wild character these days,
He's
especially because
awesome.
he's not drinking anymore.
He's awesome. Anyway, what do you got?
My guy Jeffrey Hurlings gave your boy Jet Lawrence some mad props today at Hawkstone International Park.
Some mad props.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
So, as we know, Jeffrey's coming back from an injury. This was his first and one and only warm-up before Patagonia in 2 weeks.
Okay.
He won it. But there was a lot of people there. Fevre was there. Cyril was there. Colton off, whatever. And somebody from Gate Drop was interviewing him after the race. And he brought up the fact, he goes, yeah, you know, like, what's your mindset going to be going into this year? Like, you tried, you know, for years we saw you as the fastest man on the planet outdoors. And then this last year you really calculated and you kind of got both on both shoulder. And you still got hurt. And Jeffrey goes, yeah, you know, like, we'll just have to see. We're still building or whatever. Well, then obviously, good transition. The guy goes, well, can we still see, like, the fastest man on the planet at any time? And he goes, well, you know, he wasn't going to put that comment in there without bringing up Jet Lawrence. And he goes, yeah, well, you know, Jet made the comment that the two people he'd like to race at least is Eli. Obviously, we know that before Supercross, and you were the other person. And Jeffrey comes out and he goes, well, you know, I'm really glad I don't have to race Jet Lawrence right now. Like, maybe at the end of a season, but, like, right now, yeah, I'd have nothing for the kid. Like, he's just faster than everybody.
Oh,
like,
wow.
He's like, yeah, man, I think he's the fastest man on the planet right now. He goes, if you talk to me at the end of the season, maybe. But right now, no, I'm just really glad I don't have to race the kid.
That is
Yeah, so
wild.
Jeffrey giving your boy a little props.
He doesn't want to race the kid. That's what you're saying?
No, he's just said he's glad he doesn't have to race him for a championship right now. Yeah. He gave him
Wild.
props. Yeah, he even
I'm
said,
looking
he was
here.
like, yeah,
Oh,
man.
Looks
he's
like my comment got deleted on the Degan post.
What'd you say?
Well, he
Trademark
put,
infringement?
No, he was like stoked to get it done in front of the military or whatever, and
Yeah.
he spelled stoked, STOCKED. And I put, are you stocked or stoked? Which one is it?
grammar
And
police over here.
And it's been edited since, so.
But yeah, I thought you'd like to hear that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
enjoying. I'm gonna bask in that for a sec here.
Yeah, he gave him props. He gave him props. He's like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to race him for a championship right now.
Interesting. Super
Damn,
interesting.
I had like 6 comments, but they're gone.
I like that though from him because
Yeah.
that definitely shows that he's
maturing.
maturing.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
But they were bringing it up, and he didn't, because the guy kept prodding like, oh well, you know, would we like, are we going to see you race Jet Lawrence at any time soon? And
Was he like, yeah, I went to Star 6 months ago and rode the bike, or
he
what?
was he was
Yeah, what'd
going.
he say?
He was just prodding him. He's like, well, are we going to actually ever see you race Jet Lawrence? And then Jeffrey kind of like paused, and he goes, well, you know, I hope we race each other at MX of Nations.
So he's not coming.
No,
He's coming.
He made that.
He's gonna ride for Star.
He looked at the guy and he was like, yeah, like MX of Nations for sure.
Oh, like he had already known that. Yeah, he was fucking coming.
Because the guy really wanted to see if he could get an answer. Like, oh, we're gonna ever see you in Jet Works
and Jeff
Ratio?
was kind of like, "Fuck you, I already know. You already know my plan."
Yeah.
So it was just funny.
The star thing's interesting there too because Jace is still talking about it.
Of course he's.
He brought it up in the RV podcast. No, yeah, because he was like, "You don't happen to know anything about this, do you?"
I think outside of the Lawrence boys, like Jeffrey Hurlings is Jace's favorite person.
Probably.
Like ever since he did that interview and Jeffrey just gave him everything he ever wanted.
Have they canceled any other MXGP races yet?
No, and Patagonia is actually going to happen now.
Oh.
But they found out somebody else to pay for it.
Well, sometimes it takes that.
Yeah. So.
All right. Anything else? Anything on Twitter over there?
That's what I was talking to Zacho about. Tough blocks.
Oh, okay.
So I put something on there like, "Hey, actually, this was kind of interesting. Like, he went into some detail. Why haven't any of the test facilities invested in tough blocks to simulate like a real race kind of thing?"
Yeah.
And he mentioned they looked into it at Eldon's and doing it, and it was going to be like $40,000 or something. And then it was more hassle of like if it fell into the lane, having somebody out there to police it, and it didn't. Okay, so right here, have any teams looked into tough blocks on the test track? So like, what are the cons of not doing it? And Osborne went, "Yeah, we almost did it once at Eldon's, but if I remember correctly, one set was like $40,000, and that wasn't even the whole track." And then I just said, "Do you feel like it would have made a difference if you guys would have moved forward?" And he said, "No, not really. I feel that it allows even less margin of error when mistakes happen, so adding to that risk in practice."
Yeah.
Which I understand that. And then I just said, "Thanks for the insight." And he's like, "Yeah, don't quote me on the $40,000 price because it was like 6 years ago. But when we heard the price, we all felt like it wasn't justified."
It's probably double that
It's
now.
expensive. I know. I've heard people talk about how expensive they are. So
Yeah, and this one guy was like, "How about hay bales?" And he just goes,
Jesus.
"Yeah, hay bales are sketchy."
yeah.
Should
So,
have the yellow wooden stakes that they used to run back in the day.
Oh, Will Hahn even put 2 cents in on it. He put, "I believe it would cause more injuries." Just my opinion.
Probably.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I had a thought the other day because
Oh, look at this guy's name's Dr. Hugh Janus.
must be a real doctor.
He's an MD.
I had a hey boys, what's up?
What's up, dogs?
I had a thought the other
Couple of
day. I like
All of them.
why doesn't
there's
my
three.
parents are in Florida, so we have all of them. My thought the other day was why doesn't Feld? Oh, this was the thought I had. Okay, sorry, I had to think about this. So Formula One just did their test or whatever, right?
Yeah, because Bahrain's next weekend.
Yeah.
Hang on, I found a video of McAdoo.
Oh my God.
Can you stop for once?
That's good. This is great radio. So Formula One had a test, right? And we've always kind of talked about like, what if the guys rode less? What if we had dedicated testing, whatever? And I thought, I was like, man, what if they invited? So Feld has a big facility, okay? Because they do a bunch of monster truck testing, and the monster truck facility is at Feld's headquarters in Tampa or whatever. So my thought was, what if they did like a preseason test day in December in Florida at the Feld facility? They build a track, top 40 dudes in points from each class gets invited, and then it could be like a 2-day test thing or whatever. Like you do maybe 250s one day, 450s the next, or something like that. But you could test, and where this came up was thinking about the whoops, the dragons backs, things like that. You could actually test some different things and kind of see how it worked track wise, then going into the season, and then you could make last minute adjustments before obviously stuff got built or whatever.
That's how they do it with Monster Jam.
So supposedly, and I haven't looked too far into this, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Supposedly they have a facility down there where you go to learn to drive monster trucks because they own a fair majority of the monster trucks.
somebody I can ask
is
on
fucked.
that.
They own Gravedigger. They own all
Now,
those names.
don't get me wrong. I have heard things. We're not going to talk bad about them, but I've heard things about their dealings with the monster trucks too.
I can ask somebody. On
Yeah,
that one.
but I'm pretty sure they have this. So I'm like, okay, if you have this facility,
Scooby-Goo?
I'm like, why don't you?
You go Scooby-Goo like that?
Yeah, but not like that. Matt knows her like that, but I don't know her like that.
Yeah.
But I know her
I was
very
just,
well.
I was just like, why don't we have? Because think about the.
She meant they knew you.
Oh my God! Can we stop talking about that for a second? Can we finish the show here?
I'm not doing it. He is.
Could you?
I've been interrupting a lot tonight.
You
I'm the new
have
Justin.
been. Like, we're gonna get flamed in the comments for this.
Flame me.
Flamed. Looking at the cameras not on anymore.
Also, I can't wait to get roasted for not knowing what a hymen is.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
Google it, buddy.
You didn't, jackass.
Oh my God! Can I finish my thought, you two? Jesus.
Oh my hymen.
Anyway,
Chance Hyman.
can you think of the fanfare that we could build if we had a test day where we had all the top guys out there? I mean, they do a media day anyway. Why not just tie it in? Why not do a week-long thing? You have your couple media days like they do in California.
How much is Feld going to pay everybody to show up?
They could probably sell tickets and pay for it.
I mean,
I would go watch that.
can you go to the Formula One test thing?
No.
See, I would just do it like
only media can.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Think of the exclusivity you could have with having the media there and being able to do all of that.
I
Like
bet media would pay to be there.
the
too.
fanfare, the fanfare you could build from it because you could have them. I mean, you could have them testing different stuff on bikes and
All
shit like
season,
that.
Something to talk about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you want to know how wild the fact of like how big Formula One's gotten? Because now like the test has always been on like YouTube, the Formula One page. Oh no, all 3 8-hour days were on ESPN Plus this week.
Well, like I said, I think
Who's got the best?
now I did hear
Red Bull,
this week too
per usual.
that Netflix offered to Feld to do a thing.
No.
And then they told Feld, but you have to foot the bill. And the bill to foot it was $5 million.
That doesn't surprise me.
And Feld told him no.
That's the stupidest fucking decision on Feld's
That's
part
what
ever.
everyone is saying.
That is so stupid.
But I have heard it was pitched to Netflix. Netflix accepted it. Netflix told them they had to carry the bill the first year at least.
I think that's an investment.
Dude,
ROI.
they would get their investment back tenfold.
Tenfold in the first year.
Okay, so like I'm glad you brought that up, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but like this is a good moment.
Yeah, do
Just-
not tell me about Drive to Survive or I'm going to kick you in the
No,
nuts.
I'm just gonna say one thing. One thing that has to
Okay.
do with this. One thing. Talking about the tenfold and getting your investment back. So you guys obviously know the Alpine team, though.
Yes.
Okay, so all French team just went through a lot of shit last year, but they have
Yep.
2 French drivers in Ocon and Gasly. Because of Drive to Survive, like you guys won't care about who the people are, but this is a point of it. Ryan Reynolds
invested.
Has bought
invested
in, right? Yeah.
24% equity into that team. Mm-hmm. You want to know why? Because of Netflix fucking Drive to Survive. Mm-hmm. Feld are the biggest bunch of...
Yeah, they need to hear stories like that. I don't know. Like, who's... Is that the marketing side that says no to that?
I have no idea. This is just what I've heard.
And I don't want to hear, well, you know, like we go to
I'm
state
gonna
court.
dig more.
We go to state court and do this. I'm almost 100% certain before Drive to Survive, Ryan Reynolds probably never watched a Formula One race in his entire life.
I can tell you that I did not.
I didn't either.
That's the point. I know I'm the only one out of us that did, but that's the point,
I can
though.
honestly say I could have given a shit less about Formula One, and now I kind of
Now
follow
I kind
it.
of got a toe dipped in.
I mean,
Drive to Survive has made Formula One. We talked about this. When you go to the grid of the like any of the
Yeah.
races,
Yeah.
But like when you go to the grid, like it doesn't. There are certain people that aren't even allowed on the grid. And it doesn't matter who you are.
I know.
It's because of Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Like so much so that Formula One decided to make a U.S. based in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So it's like
Yep.
I know that it wouldn't be to that extent,
Wow, so Supercross has had that opportunity.
but it was.
huh?
It's what I hear. It's what I hear. Which again just blew my mind of like $5 million. Like,
That's
you want me to
nothing-
start a GoFundMe or
Well, it's like
Yeah.
what's his
if
name?
I pay for it, can I be executive producer?
It's like what's his name talked about this. Kenny's agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Astafin.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, Astafin would almost find the money in front of himself.
and yeah, dude, have Astafin put the whole thing
I know,
up.
because can you imagine the deals he could get Kenny if they had a Netflix show?
Think about Myrtle. Myrtle could front the money.
I
for
can't
that.
believe Mertz let that
I wonder
go.
if he knows anything about it.
I don't know. I'm going to ask him too.
I'd assume so. You'd
If
assume
if
that he
I
would.
see him, I'm going to ask him.
DM him. He seems to be a responder.
You would assume so.
You know what? I'll text Isaac and have him text him.
And here's the thing,
I mean,
man.
dude, he's got to sell. They text.
And here's the thing.
Since when?
Uh,
Had they like rekindled the thing? Because Isaac was in hot water on Twitter for a second.
he was, but then Mertz reached out to him not too long ago, and they had a conversation, and they're better. So I'll text him and see
I
if he
just
can
look
reach
at
out.
it. I just look at it because I look for the Formula One series because they have a hard time getting Max on there because he just hates media and he said it. and he can get away with it. But like Lewis and Charles Leclerc have always been like the focal points. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine the amount of money and investment returns they would get if they have? Oh, we have like Jet Lawrence is like the Lewis Hamilton.
Or
And,
you got
like,
He's the Justin Bieber.
And Hayden
or you've
Degan,
got Ken Roxon with a
Yeah.
devastating injury, and this is what he's come from.
and Hayden Degan is like the Charles Leclerc. You talk about like Jet needing to branch out with hanging out with certain people and putting himself. He gets on a Netflix series and he's the star of it. People bitch about the Lawrence fandom now.
Be
It
10
would
times
be
worse.
through the roof.
10 times worse.
And you know
Wow,
what?
dude,
it
I
would make
can
our
only
sport
hope.
better. As much as I do not like that whole thing, I don't give a shit. If it makes the sport bigger,
Doesn't matter.
go for it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
That's the stupid.
Because, man, it'll raise everything. We might actually make some money.
Everybody would make money.
I might be able to afford to pay you two.
Everybody would make money. Yeah, that'd be nice.
that'd be cool.
One day. We're
That's
hoping.
fine. It's fine.
We're hoping. We're
Point
getting
is,
close. We're getting
point
close.
is
gonna be a
that's
thing.
that's stupid. That is the stupidest shit I've heard in a while.
Well, like I said, I'm going to keep digging on it and see what exactly is going on with it. But that's my understanding right now is they were offered it. They said they had to fund it. They said it was $5 million, and they said no. So I don't know.
Want me to blast out a tweet right now? See if anybody will say anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Certain
All right.
certain Feld members follow us.
Keep in mind, you're Kawasaki these days.
Oh, I know.
Any?
Stick it out for you, homie.
Anything else?
I'm just gonna say any truth to.
Who wins Daytona?
It's hard to bet against Eli after last night.
Yeah, and this would be
If he would have sucked ass last night, I'd be like, nope,
Yeah.
Jet all the way. But
If he wins, it's how many now?
I don't know, 6 or 7?
6 or 7.
It's a lot.
All right, so you got Eli, and I know you picked Degan, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go Eli, and I'm gonna go Peckerhead.
Peckerhead for Daytona.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm going.
Hold on. I thought we were calling Eli Peckerhead because he does this.
Yeah, we are.
No,
So you-
Peckerhead McAdoo, Whackers.
Oh, Waxack.
Waxack.
Sackadoo. Waxack.
Sackadoo, Sackers,
What else do we
Whackers.
have for him?
Holy smokes! the sacker whacker.
The Sacker Whacker.
I don't know, dude. A kit. Call him A kit.
Yes, there we go.
Who's winning
Anyway,
Daytona?
all right. Who you got for
Should we
Daytona?
call him Fork Tube.
No. Good. That's good.
Fork Tube. That's a good one.
Good.
Shock shaft.
Stop.
Oh my god. Okay, who you got?
Fork tube. Yeah, that's good.
Oh man, who? I'm gonna go Vial.
All right, cool.
And
Yeah.
And Eli?
No, I'm going off the rails in the 450 class.
oh boy,
Who?
Weird shit happens at Daytona sometimes.
Diener.
There's gonna be good vibes for this man.
Oh boy, I don't know who this is.
He's gonna do it for Dale, AP7.
Okay, fair.
All right, all
I
right.
think that place would go crazy if he wins.
Holy shit. People would be jumping over the
Yeah, he's
bears.
gonna be doing it for Dale.
Do it for Dale. Dale don't care.
Okay, great. Well, this has been another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by Complete Racing Solutions and 50 Graphics. Thanks to TLR Coatings for having the studio. Thanks to Gutter Worx, Issac Nelson Designs, and Holster Co. Thanks to you for tuning in. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. Sorry about the video issues there. I don't know what the hell's happening. Everything's going to hell in a
we're morons.
handbasket. But at least we get a show out. So, whatever. Thanks, everybody, for
Thank
tuning
you.
in. We will be back next week to wrap up Daytona.
Later.
I don't know why I did that.